Well, hello, everybody. Welcome. Hope we're all doing good. Today, unfortunately, we do not have the results and things to announce just yet. And that's totally fine. We'll be doing a bit more merciless in the meantime. We've still got the Mesmer alive, still rocking strong, still doing very well. And I guess we'll just jump straight on in. We'll be playing a bit of that pretty quickly. Coffee and all that good stuff. If you guys missed yesterday's stream... I mean, I don't know why I say this right here early, but we got a new emote. Hello, Broiled Quaggan. Hey, Bacon's on mine. It's good to see you both. Hope you're all doing good. And yeah, we'll be trying a little bit of more merciless out and seeing how much further we can take this Mesmer, who has got a surprising distance, I would say. So yeah, we've also got the kind of scary. We've got a scary instance. We've got the wind blowing instance coming up. And it occurred, this actually occurred to me yesterday as well. I don't have any stab. So I might buy the mantra of balance, I think it is called, just to have the stab to get through. But, yeah, I'm a little bit worried about it. On Jebro's stream when he was doing it, some people in chat said that Wiki says... You don't get defeated if you fall, but we've definitely had a run there where we get defeated when we fall, so bit scared of that. Oh, wait, no, hold on, never mind. What am I talking about? We voted Vigil anyway, didn't we? Why did I think we'd voted Priory? That's very strange. No, never mind then. Never mind. All of that was useless. WP, when will there be more videos on YouTube? I'm sick of telling people the answer to that. I'm actually sick of it. But yeah, hello, Jade Annabelle Woods. DJ Guydan. Clumbinarina. Kairos, it's good to see you. Kairos, I noticed. I'm pretty sure you're the Kairos that did the competition entry as well, correct? Oh my god, I opened Twitch and you start 5 seconds later. I'm surprised. Well, dude, look, I'm here for you, man. I'm here for you. I'm doing all right. I'm a bit frustrated with some real life stuff that I've been trying to get sorted out. And just various websites are really shoddily made. And I'm just getting thrown around this account to this account to this account. And then you enter one security detail wrong and you get kicked out, basically suspended. And you've got to ring a help desk to sort shit out. I'm a bit frustrated, honestly. So yeah, I just want to relax as the sun sets here. And yeah, we'll play a little bit of the merciless stuff and we'll have some funsies. But yeah, first, coffee. I'll tell you what as well. Slight discovery. I don't think I mentioned this yesterday. So the coffee grinder, all right. I've realized, and this might be obvious to you guys who use grinders. I've never in my life used a coffee grinder, but it's not an electric one, and it was taking ages. But I've realized if I alter it just a little bit to allow more of the bean in, basically to make a rougher grind, it goes much quicker. So basically, I don't go fine grind anymore because you've got to crank that thing for ages. But yeah, you do a little bit thicker grind and it will be all good. So I'm gonna make that anyway. I don't mean to bore you guys too much, and we'll be playing Merciless very soon. And yeah, just normal cool chats as you would expect. Oh, I'm not correct. You're not the Kairos. That was the other Kairos, which really bothers me that he does all these things, but I never spoke with, and I don't know his name on Twitch or in Discord. Really? That might mean that there's 3 Kairoses that I know then. Anyway. All right. Okay. Alright, yeah. So, coffee. Also, yeah, we got a new emote, as Bacon's on mine just saw. Tato Mad. So, if you're angry, if you don't like me, if you don't like what I'm doing, if you want to be mean to people on the internet, I hear that's a pleasant pastime, you can do that. Merciless. right, well that took quite some time. It definitely took some time. All right, hello. Coarse was the word I was looking for. A coarser grind. That's what it was. I knew it was on the tip of my tongue the whole time, and I just couldn't remember it. All right, so anyway, hello everybody. Welcome. Hey Rav, it's good to see you. Broadquagan, Ruba, Dumark, Demon's Bane. It's good to see you with those coffee emotes. Caesar. Oh, a Mesmer run. I haven't gotten to tune in this weekend. Glad to be here. The Mesmer run's been really interesting. Like, it survived a lot more than I thought it was going to. And in fact, yesterday, the game was really easy. I feel like the personal story... I mean, this is probably, like, the perfect storm of disaster as far as the game's concerned. But I feel like the personal story, almost universally, all races... and well, not races at this point, but across all the orders, this level 40 stuff, it's really easy. And I feel like I don't know, that's probably a really bad situation, because it's at this moment that you realize the story that the game is going to keep hot swapping story arcs. It's about here that you're going to start getting fatigued by that, because you've already gone through 3. And the new one you're in isn't that engaging. But also, the gameplay doesn't even engage you at that point. The gameplay even starts struggling. And I think that it's probably got... And especially when you think about the RPG not engaging you as well at that point. Especially at launch, if you think about it, around level 30, that was when you had your elite. You had everything. You didn't have anything else to look forward to, really. I mean, there were Grandmaster traits and stuff in the books and things, but... they weren't as prominent or interesting back then as they are now, so it's really amazing to look back at, actually, for me. Sort of the various things that will contribute to loss of player retention. Anyone here knows how to use the TP to make money, says Sandwatch. I at least want to understand it. Basically, what you do is you buy items off of other players, okay, so I'll give you an example. The example won't actually work, but I'll give you an example. Let me log in game and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. And this is coming from someone who's sort of terrible with the TP, by the way, and doesn't really understand these things very well. But I can give you the premise behind it. You just need the right market. The funny thing is, Guild Wars, when it had its really high population spike in the early days, because of the way its TP is global, like, well, except China, I guess. Is it split EU-NA? I actually don't know. But in any case, because it's not individual server, you couldn't really corner any markets. There were so many players all lumped into the same system, and the game wasn't very complicated back then, economically. There was sort of very little leeway for TP barons, and they would have burnt out a lot of players on that as well. The funny thing is now, though, there's been a lot of feature bloat. There's been a lot of item bloat. Let me say that, actually. Yeah, because that's the important part. And there are... And the player base, as well, is, you know, not what it was way back when. And when I say that, that's not an insult to Guild Wars or whatever, or a sign that it's shrinking or that we're not in the golden age, because I really think we are. But it's just that the 2012 launch window was insane, right? Everyone was talking about Guild Wars for about a month. I mean, that's... the older I get, the more I realise that's just sort of what gamers are like. Zerg to something for about a month and then disappear again. Or maybe that's a bit mean. Maybe 2 months, 3 months. Anyway, so... And you know, those are the critical months. Anyway, nowadays, because there's a lot more in the economy, there are a lot of places you can be quite sneaky. And you can find something to invest. It's not just about investments, but you can actually find a market to corner, and you might find nobody's preying on it yet, and you can get money. So, there's 2 ways to really earn money on the TP. One of them is through investing, okay? So, sorry, I forgot to turn the game on. So one of them is through investing. So that's the idea of paying for, I don't know. All right, I'll give you an example. Here was sort of an investment of mine. So you see this mini Karka. This is an item that was added to the game in a single update, and it was a very rare drop, and then it disappeared again for years. So, if you bought it close to the update when it came out, and it was sort of 40 gold, you could save it, not use it, not bind it to your account, but save it, and it's an investment for you. And as the months tick away and tick away and tick away, the price of this was only ever going to go up. because they were only ever going to get rarer as players bind them to their accounts and make them untradeable. So as the number of them shrink, the more prestige is associated with them, the more expensive they get, up until they were worth loads of money. And so this was an investment, if you will, of mine, but I never... the game with investing, just like in real life, is knowing when to cash out. I never cashed out on mine, and eventually the developers added it in another source, and the price dropped down. So that's one example of a type of investment you can do. Another type of investment you can do is I can't be bothered to show you. I've got a character full of these items. So this is a currency, a guild system backed currency that the developers have utterly mishandled, and it's just terrible, basically. And none of the items were really used for anything worthwhile. So I have investments in this. It's all piss cheap. It's extremely cheap. But maybe one day the devs will wise up. They'll have a bit of time on their hands, and they'll look at guild systems, and they'll say, right, the economy is not supporting the guild systems well enough. The incentives aren't there. Let's fix this, either by, you know, butchering this currency and adding a new one and then some kind of exchange rate, or just making these worth something. If you're buying each of these at only 5 copper, if one day this is worth 15 copper each, you've just tripled the money you spent on it. Yeah? So the game with investing is finding the right market to invest in. The risk of this is, hopefully, if you're going to invest in this, be aware that other people will have already invested in it, possibly way more than you. So they're going to undercut and diminish your profits if you ever get any. And also, it can be a huge wait for a payoff, like an enormous. I may never get a payoff on this. I've already been waiting a year for a payoff on this. The other one that I've got investments in, I have an entire guild bank. No, not just a single bank. I've got all of, you know, the tabs in a guild bank filled with gold ore, which I bought maybe even more expensive than this years back, and I've never had a proper payoff on it. So, you know, you got those are my 2 only investments. So anyway, that's one way to earn money on the TP. The other one is flipping. So this is you need less gold to get into flipping. It's not got a big you know, hill to climb at the start. You can also get a payoff almost immediately via flipping compared to, you know, long-term investments. But flipping is just a little bit more work, right? So if you really love the idea of being a TP baron, flipping is a good place to start. But you can get tons of money on flipping. I think the wealthiest people in Guild Wars 2 aren't just long-term investors, but they do a lot of TP flipping. So this keys into what I was talking about a minute ago. There's a lot of different items in the game, a lot of different markets in the game, and not necessarily a player base that is watching every single one like a hawk. So, the way this works is quite often you take an item, say, I don't know. I'll give you the worst example in the world because it's a heavily traded... What you want to do is find an item that isn't traded very frequently. But I'm going to give you an example of something that's traded a lot. So the idea of flipping Ecto, okay? The idea would be, some people are currently selling it for 19 silver, 89 copper. So you buy them for 19 copper, is it 19 silver, 89 copper, and then you sell them back to the player base for a little bit more. The thing is, there's a trading, but that won't work with Ectos though, because the difference between the buy orders and the sell orders is very, very tight. And so it wouldn't work. Basically, every transaction you make on the trading post, there's a fee. It's actually a gold sink. The game will take, the Black Lion Company is the lore idea, will take your money. They'll take a cut of the transaction every time you make a sale on the trading post. And so essentially what that is that's ArenaNet deleting money. That's a gold sink. It's very good for the economy in the long term. It means that established players don't snowball ridiculously away from new players. But so what you want to do is find a slowly traded currency and do that. There's other options as well where you can flip items by tiering them. So what you could do is go to axes, and what you could do is buy insane quantities of green level 60 weapons of any kind. I don't know. You buy tons of these. Ignore these really pricey ones. We don't have to get into those. You could buy tons of these, throw them for super cheap, and always just from current sellers. and then throw them all in the Mystic Forge, and all the rares you get sell back to the trading post, and you might find that you make a profit from that. And you could just infinitely generate money. If you realize that you can make a profit on it, and nobody else is doing it, it is infinite money for you, as long as you're willing to click through and put stuff on the TP. A very recent example we had was, there's an item in the game, an infinite upgrade extractor now. So what people do now is they buy exotics. Oh, you can't buy Adam, really? I don't know. I can't find an example really, but you would hold on, chains. Oh, it's because I'll tell you why. It's because I'm just on weapons, isn't it? It's because I got all these filters on here. Hold on, let me turn the filters off. All right. So what they do is they buy exotic weapons, salvage out the sigil, sell the sigil back to the TP, essentially getting their money back because a lot of the time the sigil's worth a lot. Sell that back to the trading post, and then they've just got a free exotic weapon in their inventory. And what they do with the exotic weapon is they throw it in the Mystic Forge, and they roll for precursors. So then they get extremely cheap precursor rolling through flipping exotic items, kind of. That's not really flipping, that's something else. But yeah, so you just find a little market that you want to corner, and you go for it. I have a friend who, many years ago, when daily login rewards and stuff came out, recognized that there was an item in the game that really wasn't worth very much. Mystic coins. And my friend invested in them madly and is now, like, super, super rich. You know, people do these things. So the Mystic coin idea is similar to what I did with resonating shards and things. So there you go. That's sort of the way that TP Trading Post works. I don't know. It's a pretty crappy explanation, really. And it only goes very, very low level. But yeah, like, you just... Because any item that's being traded, there are people who want to sell it instantly for a certain price, or you can wait and buy one yourself for cheaper. So what you do is you put in buy orders instead of instant sales. Like this here, for example, you could flip Iron Bear fins if you want. I could buy a ton of these. This gap is probably big enough-ish. I could try to buy 100 of these at 81 silver and then sell them back slowly for 1 gold to impatient people. I could do that. Buy them for 80, sell them back for 1 gold. And that's infinite money as long as the gap between these two prices is big enough to offset the trading post fee and you've got enough time, all right? So the slower traded the market, the bigger the margins, but the longer it will take for you to get your money through, yeah? So there you go. Anyway, that's sort of what I know about the TP. My inventory is a mess. But check it out. Ooh. I did this actually like several weeks ago when I first started earning lots of PvP money. I've still got a few more bags to go, but we're getting bigger, guys. We're getting bigger. It's pretty nice. All right, anyway. Sorry, that was a hell of a tangent and really probably not the most scintillating conversation we've ever had. But there you go. Rain Pumpkin says, so did pre-money go down? I guess. I only heard about that yesterday. So, I don't know. And I actually said I think it's probably really bad for the game. Philanor says, I'd be really surprised if neither Chef nor Jeweler doesn't hit 500 in a year or two. Well, you see, I would be surprised with that. I would have thought that goddamn Path of Fire returning to Alona with Vabi and the gemstones and all of this beautiful stuff. You would have thought that that would be the perfect opportunity for them to go dueling 500. You would have thought that that's the kind of thing you'd put in the expansion. But, I mean, it was very narrow. Mike Z and the crew really went very narrow with Path of Fire. Maybe it's unfair for me to say that because mounts were such an enormous, like, towering aspect of the expansion. But, I mean, yeah. I don't know. Maybe they just don't have any inspiration for what they want to do with those. I think cooking's really easy. I mean, chefing is one of those things that, again, it's like, it makes me excited about the prospect of Guild Wars as a proper RPG, because there's all those beautiful early level foods. Like, I don't know whether you guys have ever properly looked at it, right? But if you go trading post, other, food effects, filter, and we drop that to like level 0 to, I don't know, 55 or something. Like, there's so many foods in this game, and they're all so interesting. I would love a revamp to the way that food works, and the way that food integrates with leveling, and the way we view consumables, and make that a marketable thing by sitting 500 chefing on top. integrated with some kind of fishing feature maybe or something. I don't know. But there's so many cool foods. They sort of exist in the same realm as minor sigils to me, and that I'd love the game to as an RPG for me to be excited about getting sigils and stuff at low levels and fully immersive, and you know, I feel like I get a lot of use out of them. But like it's just completely nonsensical. Low level sigils give you like 1% extra damage, 1% on base damage that's extremely low anyway. Like, it means nothing. It really does. Or they're extremely highly specialized at a point in the game where people can't highly specialize their builds anyway, or see the value in highly specializing their builds. There's all these very unfortunate things about it. And food, minor sigils, talismans and marks. You guys know me. Does anyone still remember these? Talismans, look at these. Why aren't these at the part of the game? I'd love these to be a thing. I mean, that my proposition for that has always been splitting stats away from runes. And you have 3 runes, which give you perks, and you have 3 talismans or marks or whatever, you know, as the tiers go up, which give you stats. That was always my proposition with that. This is really cool. I love seeing the new gate here. Oh, man. One thing that's a bit upsetting about Season 4 is we're not going to get this style of thing. This is so cool. This is one of the coolest things about Living World Season 3 to me. The expansion on previously existing areas. I think it is so cool. But, yeah. I don't know. We're always going to be in Istan and Elona now, aren't we? Did you know you can keybind? When's your next YouTube video coming? Broiled. There you go, Sandwatch. Good luck, man. So yeah, it will take a bit of understanding of the game. Sandwatch, if you're really interested in it, there's a website called Guild Wars 2 TP. It will show you the trending prices of all items in the economy ever since they were added. So if it's like gold ore, something that's been in Guild Wars 2 since the launch of the game, it will be, you know, you can see the price of that forever, the lifetime trends. You can see how the price was during Heart of Thorns. You can see how the price was before Heart of Thorns. You can see how it was yesterday compared to the day before. So you can use that to help you figure out what's going on. Definitely. So what else we got? Rain Pumpkin. I did that investment with Elderwood. I sold all I had calculated for Nevermore when the price went up with episode 5 or 6. Then I will buy them back when I need to buy less or half than the price I sold. I did it with Mithril Ingots too. It's the best episode for me. Dude, that's really cool. Why was Elderwood worth so much on episode 5 or 6? Was it because of the double legendaries on episode 6? Which really spiked all the T5 prices and T6 prices. Anyway, the only time I've seen a consumable really work out and have players want to use them is in Monster Hunter, because it's just something you do before going out on a hunt and don't want to do it to get max health for that hunt. Yeah, I wasn't really talking about consumables on that fundamental level. I think fundamentally consumables are fun and people would like to use in this game. I mean, the thing is, the problem is with an MMO, the difficulty it sort of has to be can't be the kind of game that pushes you to exhaust all your options. Those are always my favorite RPGs, where you can play like it in a way that and exhaust all your options and feel rewarded for that. Really understand what the vendors have available, purchase them, go out of your way, you know, suck every drop out of that game's what's it, you know? Like, that's what I really like. But with an MMO, that's kind of a weird proposition, because the player that does... You have so many options in an MMO that the power creep... The power level difference between exhausting all your options and exhausting none of them is extraordinary. And baseline, the game has to be kind of easy. So without them doing some kind of, like, hard mode... leagues... you're probably not going to see that. You can just hear how excited WP is about the results of his contest. Really? I am quite excited. I'm scared, actually. I'll tell you the truth. I'm more scared than I am excited. I guess that those two emotions come paired quite often in life. I regret having used all my gold to finish the Shining Blade before Path of Fire. It would have been so much cheaper to wait. Yeah, but you got to get those new shinies now, don't you? That's the thing. That's when they come out. I commented to a friend about the town clothes getting a change, and my friend made 4K off of something I just said I'd noticed. I'm so mad and jelly because of it. Yeah, I kind of want all the town clothes, but they're really pricey, aren't they? What's it called? If I just type town? No. Outfit? No. Tonic? I think they're tonics, aren't they? And then you trade them in. Yeah. So I have one of these. I have the baseline one. I have whatever one is super low down and is like just a couple of copper. But look at how cool these are. I mean, if we were doing the competition now, the prizes, one of the rungs of prizes would be this, definitely. All the town clothes tonics. I mean, these are all outfits now. This would be very cool for Merciless, isn't it? To be able to equip all of these and use these. Can't believe this is still so pricey. It must be worth doing the Amnoon thing. Royal! Wait, did I win? I don't understand. Breezy Motions, thank you very much for the sub there, Breezy Motions. Welcome to the... Someone's got an eye for fine potatoes. Welcome to Spud Club. I hope you enjoy your new emotes and stuff. Oh, we got someone from Bogot here as well. Tegas, it's good to see you, dude. What was the other thing I was going to say? I think someone sent me a message. But yeah, no, on the consumables topic, I do think that they are used in Guild Wars, especially at the high end, obviously. But I see there's so much rich potential. There's so much fertile ground for the early game experience. It could be so good. And when you look at those areas of I mean, these have got to be some of the most stagnant markets in the game in terms of investors. These probably just have, yeah, like, look at this. One guy is trying to buy 300 of them. Why? Probably just on a whim that maybe something will happen one day. These will be so... All that will have ever really happened with these is they would have been getting sold. The other one is like the orbs. You know, I get that these still have a use in dueling recipes and things. But the idea of slotting these directly into some of your gear, I don't know. In for fun too. Hey, welcome. Arena must be a little scared of what level 500 chef and jeweler will do to the market. Not saying I know how adding plus 100 levels to a crafting. Yeah, definite no. 500 dueling wouldn't add another tier of gear. They wouldn't go over ascended. That isn't what would happen. But I can imagine it would be a way to get trinket. I mean, it is very tricky. It's not something you can just come up with on a whim. It is very, very tricky because the acquisition of ascended accessories is sort of really important for the lifeblood and the flow and the direction of new players. And that they can't tamper with that. In fact, they've tampered with it far too much already. Shit like Bitterfrost Frontier and berry farming coming in, giving you just all your accessories without having to do fractals or without having to do guild missions and stuff like that. That's devastating. That's really bad for the game. They shouldn't tamper with that shit. It's bad. It's a bad idea. It's a cheap way to get people to keep playing the new map. Well, it's not a cheap way. I can see why they sort of resort to it, but it's not good for the game. It discredits the work that was implemented not even, you know, a year and a half earlier in some of these cases. It's bad. So the idea of dueling 500, giving you a way to craft any accessory you want, at least outside of the backpack, I can see that that's also bad. That's tampering in the same way. I guess there's another kind of argument you can make, which is that, well, look, they already tampered with it. They already balls this stuff up. They already don't know what they're doing. So maybe it's okay. But then I would just argue, you know, you're just adding more poo on a poo pile. I do think it takes something fundamental. I think something really needs to be looked at with Guild Wars. I've had a few ideas that I quite liked before. The community's never really latched onto them, but the idea that Heart of Thorns stats are viable in core Tyria content and Heart of Thorns content, but nowhere else. Path of Fire stats are viable in core content and POF content, but nowhere else. And, like, you can set up build loadouts depending on where you are, which swaps that. So it all sort of has a place and it all sort of has a use. And then you could integrate the dueling system into that. And this way, you with a system like that, you could essentially... You could do some clever things, I think. But I don't know, really. The other view for Ascended dueling is... any stat combo, basically. Even ones that aren't implemented right now. Like 4 stat combos. So it would be like, you know, I talked about the magical ferocity main, power main, precision minor, condi damage minor. That is the ultimate glass nuke stat combo that can exist in Guild Wars 2. The ultimate. You put that on a class that can get trait-bound precision. Or crit chance, I should say, rather, to be more accurate. You put down a class with that, and it's devastating. It's insane. It's really, really exciting. But it, like, power creeps on older stuff. So, I don't know. You give dueling 500 the opportunity to make that, and, you know, ultimate tank sets as well. But then you've got these weird questions of what does that do to world versus world. Now, my solution to that would be to change World versus World to the totally different format, which I prefer. The idea that it resets every now and then and everybody levels in there and you get the asymmetry back and stuff, and then maybe it's not so bad if there's this really ridiculous sort of top-end stuff because it doesn't muscle out the rest of the experience of World versus World. But now we're talking about sweeping changes to World versus World to facilitate a dueling thing, and it snowballs and snowballs and snowballs. And without some really dedicated, passionate guys that are going to sit there, perhaps outside of the scope of their current workload, get in a meeting after work hours and say, guys, I want to make Guild Wars 2 amazing. Let's iron this out. Without a group of people doing that with a really cohesive vision, it will not happen for this game. So, and the worst thing is any legends that did do that would never get the credit they deserve for putting in that extra effort. They would just make people like me happy. And you guys in chat. Well, they would get the credit they deserve when the company starts doing fucking amazing and the game starts retaining everyone that's playing it and shit. But, I mean, how much would that flow back down to them? You know. Nike says their big mistake was not adding the new stats to guild missions specific to the expansion. No one does guild missions anymore, and it would have been a preferable way to get the new stats more available, especially with a sense of progression. Yeah, like I just did... like, I really don't like the way that they handle the Path of Fire stuff. I just did some of the, like, Bounty Hunter. I finished the Bounty Hunter track, and I finished another one of the tracks, and I've almost done War Beast purely through PvP. I haven't actually interacted with Path of Fire. I played so little Path of Fire. It's all been just doing reward tracks 18 times in a row. But when you finish it, guys, you get the recipes for crafting, and you get the insignia here, and it's just like... I mean, this is armor, obviously, not dueling, so it's not a very immaculate demonstration for you all. But it's a really, it's just weird the way that they've done it. I agree with you there, Nike. I think that the guild side of stuff is probably more important to me than that shit I was just ranting about. And again, like resonating lodestones. Like, I don't just want them to be worth something because I've now invested in it. I just think it's terrible what they did with that, putting that on all dailies instead of having it as being a rich guild thing. We just need some more missions. We need some more variety. We need some more dynamism in the content behind guild missions as well, so they constantly feel a little bit different, a little bit more interesting. And yeah, proper, solid, worthwhile reasons to go for that stuff. So yeah, you can see in this one discussion of the idea of dueling 500, we've talked about World versus World, we've talked about collections in general, we've talked about guilds. It's just like the game's a mess. I'm loath to say it, but it's a mess, and it's very, 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 very difficult to untangle. So maybe that's why when Path of Fire was coming out, and the players are screaming for content, no more revamps, we just want content, we just want content, the devs doubled down on adding just content. Maybe that's why we got that, and we you know, we saw they were very narrow in their focus. Who knows for the future though? Because as well, with the chefing side of it, the idea of level 500 chefing, there's a whole other sort of story here. That's essentially, I mean, people wouldn't realize it and they wouldn't talk about it because they're like, it's not soundbitey enough, it's not catchphrasey enough. You know, when everybody rebelled when fractals were added and something came in above exotic, as intelligent as the decision was, right, because of how easy exotic was to get and blah blah blah. There was a huge controversy about it because it was easy to have a controversy about it because any MMO player can understand their gear being power crept and invalidated. Guild Wars like stands stoically against that shit. Now, if we talk about chefing 500, it's essentially the same thing. It's not a soundbite. I don't think there'd be as big of an outrage broader than Guild Wars 2 speaking. But it in a lot of ways, it would be very anti-Guild Wars 2, and it would get a lot of people's backs up. You can't add, you know, Dragon Breath Bun 2.0, right? You can only add alternatives, cheaper variants that last more limited durations and stuff. Again, without some kind of deeper gutting of the system. Would chefing 500 allow you to mix and match different foods? What would the ambition be? Because at the end of the day, the system will always be a very binary thing where it's like, okay, it's a simple gold sync exchange for temporary peak stats. That's what it's going to be. If you add chefing 500 with better food, it will just be the meta is the better food, except it's now got a crafting and a deeper and presumably a pricier gate on it. So sort of how do you work around that? It just moves the goalpost slightly, and the game doesn't really benefit from that in any way other than a small sort of marketing benefit where they can announce with the new expansion, hey, more chefing. So it would be like more of a flavor addition, rather than anything that practically changes the game or addresses issues people might have with consumables. A feature like that would just be for funsies and for people who just like that idea of a little bit more progression and, you know, maybe tied to a fishing mastery or whatever, right? And it would all be fish-based. So it would be a flavor-oriented thing that at the end, in the end, doesn't really serve any deeper change to the game. The thing is, as well, consumables in Guild Wars 2, people don't really complain about consumables too much, I would say. Like, there's no, like, massive sweeping issue with consumables. People just sort of accept what they are as a part of the game, and, you know, raid pugs will desperately insist on it to carry that, to help them because they're not good enough and comfortable enough with the mechanics. Most other people will know that you can sort of do it anyway without them, or you don't have to be peak consumables all the time. That's just sort of what they are. You don't really hear people talk about consumables much. So what's the angle there? Is it worth doing chefing 500 if it's just going to be a flavor oriented idea? Is it? I mean, personally, I think so. But is it enough that I think so? Probably not. I can imagine people whinging about it. No, it doesn't do enough. What's the point? You're just making me spend more money. I can see it now. So yeah, you know, like these are really interesting things, but you know, I give Heart of Thorns a shit ton of credit for unifying the game's vision in terms of how it's being updated, in terms of what kind of end game they're going to put in terms of how they're going to expand on the classes and all that. And Heart of Thorns was amazing. But when you get into discussions like this, you realize there's still a lot that Guild Wars hasn't worked out for itself. And they're just sort of bobbing their head above water. It's just like, it's just somewhat good enough. It's good enough. What they've got in the game is good enough. But it's too much of a mess to really expand on comfortably. I think Path of Fire really falls down for that, actually. I think that, you know, the collections and digging through all this shit to try and figure out how you get new loot and feel rewarded. This is just, there's no clarity here. In other MMOs, there's clarity. They might invalidate your old stuff, but there's clarity. And ArenaNet haven't really found a good substitute for that. Like on a broad level, just a baseline level, a lot of Guild Wars is just very confused about itself. Benji says, I think they designed each Path of Fire map for a new stat. Trinkets are a bit mad in price considering alternatives like Fractal Mist trinkets. Season 3 gave us Ascended trinkets. Season 4 gave us martial weapons. I reckon the next few maps will follow a pattern of Harriers, Grievers, and maybe then even get new armors or stats. Yeah, I mean, we saw Lake Doric did that as well with Seraphs, right? Seraphs came into the game. I liked that idea. But I guess they didn't. They must have seen from their stats or whatever that it wasn't something they wanted to do, because the next 3 Living World updates haven't tried it again. And remember, Lake Doric guys are the dudes that just released season 1 for us, episode 1 for us. That was the Lake Doric team. So wait, was it? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? I think it was. I can't remember. Anyway, I'm missing a lot in chat. This is a bit of a rant. You guys can actually type the rantator here, because I've been going on and on. Nike says, guild missions should be the focus of endgame open world. If you aren't into raids or fractals, guild missions should be your endgame PvE, but that would require them to devote resources specifically to that. Yeah, that's an interesting idea, man. Like the idea of, I mean, right now, what is open world endgame for PvE? It's metas, yeah, HOT metas, POF metas. For the real casuals, and I mean, I really do believe this. That's not an insult, by the way, but world boss trains. That's the province of open world endgame right now, and there's really not much to it. I reckon they probably have a lot of burnout there. So the idea of retooling guild missions to look squarely at that, dead in the eye, and have guilds running metas more frequently, and have guilds doing world boss trains. Yeah, I think that could work. I think they go hand in hand. I think that could be really good. I think that would do a lot for the community as well. If you're a new random player wandering around and you see a specific community, a specific guild doing a big event somewhere, you're more likely to join that and be interested in that, rather than just a blob of random amorphous, unrelated players. Yeah, I think you might be right, dude. That might be a really smart idea. In fact, I know that's a good idea, because I suddenly regret that the game hasn't had this for the past 3 years. If they had that focus, and you know what's really kind of gross about it as well? The guild puzzles and stuff, they all used to be open worlds, and then the devs cut them off into instances, which was never a decision I agreed with, even when it happened. I understand why they did it. because of the timing of the missions and stuff, and they didn't want guilds overlapping and interfering with one another. But I think the answer wasn't to cut them into instances. I think it was a change on some other level. That's a real because that would keep them out in the open world too. Yeah. The next 6 months will be really interesting. If they can pick up the cadence of raid releases, they'll have that community secure. I think that will be fine. If the balance continues improving in PvP, and people start realizing how much gross quantities of cash there is there, they can probably get quite a few people in there too. And that will snowball up. I think, well, I don't know. I don't understand World vs. World. I'm not going to pretend to understand World vs. World. I don't understand it on the level of someone who plays it as a mainstay. It's just too boring for me. But I don't know. Fractal's team does very well as well, and I think, you know, they're doing pretty good. I currently don't Fractal so much anymore, but why is that? Why have I been burnt out of Fractals? Just doing it too much, I guess. Not sure what else I need. Right, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm actually on the Mesmer getting random experience, which is a terrible idea, guys. Because I'll over level if I'm not steady about this. So let's just go through the gate and let's continue the story, shall we? What a rant. Yeah, you can tell I haven't been making videos because I've got all this pent up shit I want to talk about, and it just sort of all comes out unscripted, unorganized, just like verbal diarrhea straight onto your screens. I hope you guys enjoy that. This is what you tune in for. What if they give auras like Strawberry Ghost? Nothing crazy. I don't like that idea, Benji, really. You're talking about food and the idea of 500 food? I don't like that idea. I also don't think food that's like just double duration or whatever is good either. I think it would take some kind of like deeper change that then the 500 discipline sits on top of, as I said before. That's what I think it would be. Off topic, but with the Dark Souls remaster announcement, I'd like to beg for a Let's Play series, please. Oh, Harry, listen, man, that's one of my big regrets. People asking me to do that for years and years and years, and I should have got on it before the hype train, because it seems perfectly aligned with me. Now I'm just a bit salty about the whole experience, and I don't want to be on a bandwagon, so I'm really sorry. I should have listened. There were people genuinely, like, whenever the original Dark Souls came out, there were people saying, WP, this would be perfect for you, please play it. Before it all kind of went nuts with Dark Souls. And now I'm just a salty twat that doesn't want to look like he's joining a party for some kind of view grab. So I doubt I'll ever do it. But the games do look awesome, and like everything about them I think really aligns with me. Mechanically, I think they're really cool. I think the way that they deliver their story is really cool. I have done a Dark Souls video once when I was one of my various attempts to break away from just being a Guild Wars 2 content creator. I was doing a series where I'd sum up game lore called Crayon Lore, and I'd do like an artistic kind of demonstration of the games. And I did one on Dark Souls 1, I guess it was. I don't know. I can't remember which one it was. WP, and I've been on a 19 map completion Black Lion Key dry streak. 19 maps and no key. Bro, that sucks. It's been since the latest chest update. Do you think you've changed reward rate or just very unlucky? 19 sounds worse than bad luck, but you never know with these things. When I say you never know, I wonder whether you're exaggerating, basically. But yeah, maybe they changed it. I don't know. Probably be smart. They're going big on Black Lion Keys right now. They're really... They're pushing the limits on the gem store at the moment. They want money. You can tell it. You can really tell. So if they're cutting away some of those sources of keys, I can see it. I think they design... sorry. That was ages ago. Oh my god, I'm really scrolled. There is fishing in the game. You enter water and attack. That's fishing. No, fishing would be like a feature again to capture the casual fan base. I did my placement and 50% of my matches were AFKs on either side. Do you get AFKs on NA as well? Not many. I think though... well, Dusty, didn't you say you were in low plat? Dude, I've had maybe over season 9 and 10 like 4 or 5 matches with an AFKer. Total. I probably had 1 or 2 that's actually in a game that was relevant. No, that's a lie. Probably 4 or 5 in relevant games. There have been more AFKs, but only after it's apparent that it's a slam dunk, yeah? AFKs in placements feels horrible. I understand that, man. Have I seen Inks' video on things he'd like to see in 2018? QOL? No, I actually have 2 videos I want to watch of Inks' that I haven't. Have I any plans for a similar video? I'm going to do a state of the game video, and yeah, maybe things I'd like to see. That's a good idea. Inks he's got some good ideas at the moment, and I think that might be right kind of video to make. People literally AFKs because I didn't want to swap from Dragon Hunter. Yeah, I mean, the community is horrible, like, really horrible. They are really, really nasty, aggressive, narcissistic, fearful people in PvP. They really, really are. I mean, I hate generalizing in that way. I'm a bit of a twat for doing it myself, but there is a real nasty trend there. I've said it before. I'm not surprised that the PvP side of the game... If the PvP side of the game gets developed slowly or shittily, I'm not surprised because they're pricks. The people that support that game mode, by and large, are utter pricks. And it's like, well, you know, why would anyone have any pleasure doing something for you? When you actually get in there and you experience the game and the kind of people they are. That they can't take any kind of conversation without feeling threatened and attacked. It's bad. It is really bad. Jebro's kind of thing with this is, oh, it's like that in all PvP communities, but I sort of don't think that's an excuse. There is a real culture there. There really is. That is just gross. And I find myself slipping into it too. Obviously, I'm not holier than thou. I slip into it too. When you're a part of it for a long time, you end up sort of feeling like it's okay to swear at people, and it's okay to shout at people, and it's okay to be aggressive, and it's not. Or maybe it is, if everybody's like that. I don't know. No, it's not really, but obviously if you've got a bit of thick skin, you're not going to care. Off topic, but we're, yeah, sorry. You already said that. POF metas would be good if they gave more rewards. Daily amalgamated gemstones. I think the Twitter campaign of quotes isn't as bad as people are making it out to be. After all, we all joke and enjoy it. I'm actually really interested to see feedback that's been used. Well, see, that to me is an interesting one because it feels like it's something that got thrown back at the devs in an unfair way. I can tell you this, that Twitter campaign thing, no one would be criticizing it anywhere remotely the amount they have at all if the developer that has just been hired, well, if the guy that's been hired for the marketing stuff hadn't selflessly and nicely just come out and said, hey, I'm looking for advice, I'm looking for feedback, I'm open to feedback. He didn't have to do any of that shit. He didn't have to say, if he hadn't, people would have just been like, whatever. So it's this weird thing where now there's like this criticism that they're terrible at their jobs or whatever. And people don't realize that its foundations are in actually quite a nice thing. So it's kind of nasty, really. I really wanted to hit the back of the group there, but that's fine. We'll go for the block and get our defender and just shatter it straight away. This feels really loud. Just turning that down there. There we go. Yeah, I don't think it's that bad. It's just fun to joke about because they said they were going to listen to feedback and then didn't, which, you know, is on them, sort of. I don't know. I don't know what the turnaround of projects like that are. If it was set in stone. I think because that was the company line, wasn't it? That it was set in stone already, so there wasn't anything they could do at this point. At that point. Yeah, we should get them both with the 3 on this one. Oh god, yeah, people behind me. It's okay, we got decoy. Should we use prowl? Here we go. We're gonna use prowl. Ooh, ooh. Weakness, baby. Yeah, look at that. Big hits. That was actually a fun skill in World vs. World. Put on like a warrior. So you could be a stealthing warrior. So yeah, scrolling down. Food with permanent account effects would sound cool, but devalues achievements too much. Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think permanent food is a bad idea. I think permanent anything's a bad idea, really. Again, I'm not really the kind of player that should be talking about Guild Wars, really. I like... the more I play this, the more I get interested in systems like durability on weapons and stuff. And we're getting so far away from what Guild Wars is trying to be when we actually start entertaining those ideas. I just don't know where to begin, really. Apparently, Breath of the Wild had a really good durability system, though, that made loot really fun and rich and interesting. Not that I've played it, that's what I've heard. Would I at least stream some? I don't really stream other games. Maybe at some... The thing is, right, you can't just ask for new project. I've got stuff I want to be doing and will be doing. And it's not Dark Souls. I can't just throw more stuff on the bonfire, I'm afraid. As much as I know I probably should listen to what people want me to do, because it's some guaranteed viewership there, but yeah. That's exactly how you describe it. Lines up with me perfectly. Shame I feel that way. Yeah, I know, man. I know. And it's sort of irrelevant in the end. I might play it in my own time and then see. I mean, my style of LP anyway would require... It wouldn't be a blind playthrough. So I'd have to play it in my own time first, and then it would be presenting the game to you afterwards, right? I just think it's a huge scene. Someone out there has probably already done my style, and probably quite well. I think we had this conversation before, and someone said that no one had, but, you know, I don't know how confident I am in that. I don't think what I do is that special when it comes to my LP format. Anyway, great swords. Great sword. Okay. Alright, we're good. Just got to remember the next instance where we got to properly escort that chick. I think it's here, isn't it? Low platinum now, and people give up if we lose the first mid-fight, or if I don't want to switch from Dragon Hunter. I mean, that's weird, though, because DH can be quite effective in the current meta, so... I mean, it's not perfect, obviously. It depends on matchup and stuff, but it can be alright. PvP community is 90% 12-year-olds that get Fs in school. Well, no, it's not. That's, I mean, that's even more ridiculous than what I was saying. The PvE community gets your seal of approval, especially the Mesmers helping at the daily JPs. Talking about the toxicity and community of PvP, it feels like you're summing up the arenas for WoW. Yeah, probably, right. Like, again, like, I don't deny that competitive games, people just tend to get that a lot of ego gets mixed up in it, a lot of like fear gets mixed up in it, and I don't know, I think that sort of just becomes very fertile ground for people to whinge and cry and be upset at one another, and then you just end up getting these very sort of aggressive cultures sort of develop of just meanness. But I mean, and again, I don't know whether it's really ArenaNet's job to solve that amongst with all the other shit they tried to bite off. I think there is something about it that is just innate to it. Oh, that was a nice interrupt. I think he would have hit us quite hard there. If you play DH correctly, you can win every mid-fight. I don't believe that, Dusty. That's not correct. Even in before Chef 500 is only for crafting metabolic primers. I mean, that would be gross. I mean, then that brings us into another side of things. You mentioned metabolic primers. Obviously, we've got another source of primers and stuff now. It's the gardening system, which was, you know, portioned off and gem stores sold rather than, you know, any kind of core gameplay element. So, you know, that's sort of an opportunity that they miss as well now from the I don't know. And there is kind of a big question of how many more features like that will be lost to the gem store. After realizing how many times we've seen this mission and burned down these houses, do you think it's possible a League feature would include some rogue elements like fractals or something? I mean, just streaming, you know. Oh, yeah, well, a League... there's lots of different ways they could do a League system. I wouldn't be advocating bespoke, you know, direct changes to instances. But I would be more in favor of instabilities, yeah? Instabilities on you, the player, during instances... Well, maybe all the time. I don't know. It depends on what variant you go with, or you know, while on the enemies that you're fighting against. Yeah. And the nice thing is, if the fractals team can keep working, they could actually retool a lot of what they've made over there for those kinds of purposes. I think that'd be really good. But yeah, you definitely want a bit of variance in the gameplay. Definitely. Like, the idea would be each league has, like, a new element that's introduced that you get to play through. It's a chance for the economy to reset. It's a chance for us to experience a sort of a new, like, extra thing that's slightly different about it. Yeah, DJ Easy says, I hate durability. Yeah, I think that there's a lot, obviously, to not like about durability. So WP, sorry WP, I legitimately have no idea of your work cycle, so asking about the remaster was kind of out of ignorant want. Oh no, don't worry, man. Don't worry. Honestly, I'm not offended by it or anything. Don't worry. It's nice to hear that people still want to see me play stuff like that. Don't worry. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. All right. Okay. Forgot about this ambush. Can we get all 5? Oh, we got all 5. Beautiful. No, come on. All right, I'm a bit scared, so I'm decoying away. We could even chain the decoy into the snow leopard's prowl. But again, I mean, this is why I'd want mass invis, because mass invis is basically that on a 90-second cooldown with a longer stealth. Actually, same stealth duration, isn't it? But for, you know, much easier to access. God, they're really shooting me quite hard there. I need to remember to use this. I'm playing kind of badly and absently right now because it's a bit easy. And I'm mostly just looking at chat. Trying to catch up with chat, actually. Yeah, I'm 10 minutes behind chat. I am pretty far behind chat. All right, should I just scroll down? WP, if you're reading this, it's 2019. Sorry to break the news. If we could grow eggplants, I would have bought the gardening thingy. I think you can, can't you? Or maybe not. You can secure stomps better than Elixir S NG. What are you talking about? Because you can cleave via trap while stomping? But you can't. You can't do it better than an Invan. You can only give yourself stab and Aegis and blind on the body, which are all very potent tools, but all counterable by various other aspects of the game. Firebrands can resist downstate. Oh wait, can they? Can you resist a downstate body to allow its skill 2 to go through? In any case, if all the scourges, all your boons get flipped anyway. Your Aegis becomes burn, your stab becomes fear. Elixir S is way stronger. It can't be swapped. All right, which one are we doing here? Duran or Steel Crusher? Are we going to defend, or are we going to attack? Defend or attack? I know it's a bit of an interesting one. The code is 88. Defend or attack. Defend or attack. This is fastest finger first. Fastest finger. Defend or attack. We had a PvP tournament in our guild this afternoon, and every person in the semi-finals was on a Scourge. Every single person. You had 10 Scourges, really. It was Royal. Royal got it. Okay, so he said defend. I think the defense one was the easier one, so I'm pretty happy with that. We'll save that for a little bit later. No, only 4 in the semi-finals. Yeah, I mean, double Scourge Firebrand is a very cheesy way of sort of quite comfortably playing a lot of easy classes at the moment and doing okay. Oh, I forgot about the tourney. Yeah, wait, hold on. Is that the monthly that you're talking about? Was that the monthly? Oh, no. You're talking about... The monthly was today, though, wasn't it? Or was it yesterday? I can't remember. Did I lose... Oh, that's a shame. I kind of wanted to look at that. Oh, well. We could have streamed the monthly. Filled in more of the brackets. You secure stomps by dropping all your traps on the body and start stomping. If enemies move on, they trigger the trap and kill the person. And if they stay down, and then they stay down themselves. Yeah, I understand that, but that's 5 cooldowns. Well, let's be generous to you. 3 cooldowns. Just to do that on your utility skills. It's not as strong, man. And you can just very quickly poison the body if they're running. I mean, most of the hollows at the moment, I'm running a source of hollow poison. But you can cleave a body and then just elixir S it. It's fine. It's not a problem. What you're talking about is nowhere near as accessible as what NG can do. I'm sorry. Also, you are like super squishy in that situation. You can just be counter cleaved. All right, let's go. By the way, Dusty, I do like the pure trap game approach. I actually, for a long time, played pure trap Condi Ranger just for funsies, because I do think it's a really hilarious way of playing the game. I think DH is really exciting. I think it's really fun to watch a Mesmer go through a portal and then your pure traps kill him on the node, or a shadow stepping thief just goes into them. And, you know, I think that stuff's fun, and I get it. It's a fun playstyle, but it's not a very good playstyle. It's not. It's the same role as Hollow at the moment, so I like that we're having this conversation. I think it's very similar role, but it's not as good as Hollow. But you may as well just run a Hollow if you're going to be trying to have that experience. But it depends on matchup, because there are certain things that DH can play really well against that Hollow can't. And obviously, DH has more off-point capabilities. I don't know, they both have different tools. But for the downstate, specifically a discussion about downstate, Hollow is by far better. What's the role of Hollow at the moment? Well, there's kind of two variants. One runs rocket boots, one doesn't. If you're rocket boots, you're on sides a bit more. You just sort of rotate around supporting fights. But they are extreme point blank AoE damage. Extreme point. They're kind of what Reapers. Well, no, because sustain and bruiseriness was always supposed to be a big part of Reaper. No, they're just extremely, extremely deadly sort of flat damage carries for team fights and side nodes and small engagements. Very good at hunting low life force scourges at the start of team fight. Oh, you know, the opening mid. They can secure a lot of stomps. You know what? This is actually extremely boring just watching me set to auto. Sorry. Trying to think about more ways of describing what Hollow's good for. It's really good. I did a stream on Hollow. I actually did a couple. Two of them were really bad, and I tanked a ton of rating playing on it. I tanked from like plat 3 down to plat... Well, actually all the way to the top of gold, actually. Which was really frustrating and bad. But I also did a separate stream where I just sort of showed what Hollow could do, dunking on easy players and stuff, and it was good. It cashes in on enemy stupidity and cockiness. No, your suggestion there is that Hollow can't do anything unless somebody else makes a bad play. And that's always true in PvP to a certain extent. But you can't discredit Hollow for that. Any more than you can discredit any build. Quite often, like, if you win a 2v1, it's because one of them's fucked up. It's not because you're actually a good player. It's because one of them's played badly. And that's kind of true in most of Conquest, really. And for most of the builds. By the way, please highlight, save the stream of December 22nd that was 0 to Hero PvP. It's so helpful. Well, yeah, dude, I have a YouTube channel called Wooden Potatoes 2. There are links to it on my main channel. If you go to my main channel and you have a look. And every stream I ever do, except, like, one of those PvP ones, actually, but it wasn't the 0 to Hero ones. They will be there. They'll be there forever. Don't worry. It's being saved. I mean, I don't playlist my stuff over there, which is probably a bad idea, but yeah, it is there. Oh, I'm not. I said that Hollow is 100 times better than Full Trap Dragon Hunter. Oh, okay. What was the discussion then? Was I just discussing with myself? Was I arguing with nobody? Well, it was really an argument. You know what I mean? I'm just here waiting for the Mesmer power spec since the 6-pack was major Condi specs. Yeah, dude, it'll be cool, won't it? I definitely see that as a space for Mesmer to go into. I mean, there's some serious... Shatter power Mesmer is not the worst thing in the world. It's sort of the same tier as full... well, not maybe full trap DH is probably worse. But it's, you know, it's not a super ultra premium build. But you can do very well on power Mesmer in today's meta. It's kind of just a better version of Fresh Air Weaver, really. Mind lowering the in-game music? I'm more than happy to, man. I hate this music. More than happy to. Mozzie Me's message was deleted? What happened? Did you test Merciless with only racial skills, or is that too insane? No, I reckon you could probably beat the game with only racial skills. Problem is that the balance of them's like pretty off. Like Asura and racial skills are probably quite good. Radiation field, mass weakness, you can't argue with that. It's nice. And then you get a golem ally and whatever. or a choice of 2 actually different golem allies. I think one of them even has deflections, doesn't it? But Norn, you get like nothing. Seriously, this worm is terrible. Has like no range and a minute-long cooldown. The owl is awful as well. This is like an auto attack by today's standards. And then the transforms are all terrible as well. So, like Norn's like there's a big difference there. There's just no effort put into racials at all. There's none. There's no foundation there. So a version of the challenge that was like that would also sort of be like very clear delineation of, all right, Mesmer is easy mode. Sorry, Norn is easy mode. Char is hard mode. Humans medium. Sylvari's medium. Stuff like that. I just pulled those out of my ass, but you get what I mean. I'm not saying that is better than NG, but from my experience, I would say Securing Stomps a Baron Dragon Hunter. Well, that's perfectly fair. I'm drunk, don't listen to my bullshit. I don't think you've spouted any bullshit. Alright, this is the big wave. This is actually really dangerous. We get some really premium cleave here, though. I'm going to get the defender up really early on this one. So, can we hit more than 10 targets with this skill 3? Alright, we gotta leave. 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 We're just gonna have to keep gradually backing up. Knocking them away. There you go. I'm gonna target one right at the back. No, that wasn't. So we used mirror image for a stun break there. Don't know whether that was really smart. This Warden I cast on a super low health mob, which wasn't a good idea. That's fine. Cut through the group again with the laser beam. There's Ajax. We can just kite away from him, obviously, until all of his friends are dead. He's coming at me. I'm decoying. Come deal with these ones over here. Mind Rack just to get rid of some clones, because I can see that a lot more generation is coming up. Move these together and we can warden them with targeting the healthiest one, which is really good right now. They all get pressured down. They're all dead except Ajax now, and now we can just sort of snowball him. This actually went better than the Thief, I think. We got a lot of allies still alive here. And he's down. Long instance, but probably easier and less threatening than the mortars in the other one. Probably. A big dump always makes you feel better. What? From what? Needing a poo? Alright, let's go this way. And who isn't constipated these days? People who go out, that's who. I very rarely go out, and I don't think I've ever struggled with constipation in my life. Have you ever tried to kill Morgemoth naked? No, that's just sort of not interesting to me. Like at all. Is it fun? He says I'm off for the toilet, BRB. I don't know what happened in chat there. I don't know what happened. Oh, a request to join the guild with 31 ectos. I'll deal with this after the stream if that's okay. Melaka Crunetius, if you're here watching the stream. I will deal with that. At this point, WP has killed all 20 of Almora's cubs. All 20? Is that in lore? She has 20 cubs. I thought it was just Ajax. Alright. Let's go this way. I really like having the camera super zoomed in when I'm wandering across Gendaran. Just on a mount, sorry. Feels so immersive. Actually, it's weird as well because on my main screen playing the game, I feel like I'm really zoomed in right now. But on the stream and OBS, it feels like the camera's still quite far away, and it would, you know, it could do with being even closer. So I don't know what that is. Maybe it's because it's on a small window on the other things. What's the fastest way to improve in the game? Asked Phantom Lord. What aspect of the game, dude? Because it's so varied and there's so many different things now. You sort of can't ask blunt, simple questions like that anymore and get real answers. What area of the game do you want to improve in? Did you know your raptor is a she? I did actually, yeah. I'm probably a bit misogynistic. You know, everybody, you know, everyone, we had that discussion about, oh, they're always, they're SJWs. They try and put the gay relationship with Marjorie and Cadmet. You know, all of the crying and whinging that people occasionally do that we slap down on the stream. You know, I've got, you know, I do not understand people caring about that kind of thing. But for some reason, every time this game or a show or something reveals that something that I assumed was male is female, it always irritates the hell out of me. I don't know what it is. It always... Maybe it's because it feels like it's a cheap, like... cheap shot or something. Like I Am Legend revealing the dog's a girl. Like, I don't know. I just don't like it. It's just like... I don't like it. And I don't particularly like it in this game when they do it, which is quite frequently as well. Or when they use... I've talked about this so many times in the past. I'm such a dick. But when you're reading a passage of text... And, when they are using a pronoun to describe a conceptual character or entity, quite often, in English language, we don't have a gender-neutral sort of pronoun for that. We would just say he. But quite often, or if ever, they're in that situation, but they'll go out of their way deliberately to type she. Just deliberately to just do it a little bit different. Just, I want it to be she. And it's just, it always takes me out of the moment so much. It's like, oh yeah, this was a writer that did this and is trying to be progressive in some way or another. And it's not the sentiment that's wrong. It's not that I think that, you know, they're misguided in trying to, you know, infuse a bit of equality or whatever and break down those early, you know, sort of primal expectations in readers that we would expect that to just say he instead of she. It's not that I've got any problems with the intent or the motivation. It's just, I hate the way that they discredit the work and pull their own audience, well, pull me out of the work and start wondering and thinking about that stuff. It's just like, I don't know. It's a sacrifice, I think, that's a really unprofessional one to make. And it always irks me. Always. When just randomly there's a she or a her thrown in there, and it serves no purpose except just to try and angle in some gender equality. And you can see it's purely motivated by that. And again, it's not the motivation that's wrong. It's the... I don't know, it takes me out of the moment. And I feel like a sacrifice... They know that it's going to take people out of the moment as well. They know it. They want you to recognize that. They want you to think, oh, maybe I'm a sexist bastard or whatever. And that's fine. But it's sort of like throwing your own work under the bus just to try and get your own little message in there. And again, you'll notice a lot of the arguments and discussion I just gave there is what these people who whinge about, you know, having a gay relationship in the show, in the game or whatever, whinge about. So maybe I'm just a misogynistic bastard, but it really annoys me. So yeah, I think at the end of Path of Fire, in the Amnoon instance, you speak to the trainer and they're like, oh, your raptor's so lovely, isn't she really cute? And it's like, oh, it's a girl? It's like, yeah, okay. I don't know, it just only a little bit, but it irritates me. Maybe it's a control thing. So you don't get to tell me what gender my raptor is. This game sucks. What race do we want to do, guys? Hylic, Grawl, or Ogre? The code is 66. Hylic, Grawl, or Ogre? I disagree. Some people are just authentically expressing themselves and using a pronouns that best suits them. No, but I'm talking about situations where it's really not about the author. That's the point. It's not about the author. It's not about when they're using the pronoun that suits them because they're imagining this situation because they want it to be a female because, you know, they feel like women's rights need to be further. Well, you get what I mean. They want a bit more balance in these. And they're right to do that, right? I agree with the incentive and the idea. But there is a... Well, look, we don't have to get into a massive discussion about this on Twitch. It's never actually going to be very informed, is it? I mean, it's me talking, so it's not going to be informed in the first place. But I don't think that it's... I don't think it's always relevant. Why is calling your raptor a she any kind of pushing anything onto anything? Well, I'm obviously being... I'm exaggerating the depths of the issue here. Obviously. WP, you're making no sense right now. That's fine. That's fair then. I'm making no sense. What are we voting on, guys? Has nobody voted? Oh, yeah, they have. Sorry, I was in the wrong area of chat. Fastest finger was Dusty, who got Ogre 66. Ogres. We haven't done Ogres yet. So, if I remember rightly, Ogre takes ages. But I don't remember anything particularly scary about it. There we go. We're going to learn a new bit of the game here. It's back to Ascalon as well, as far as I remember. But we got a tome. All right, we get our second specialization now as well. Maybe it's like Jurassic Park and they're all female. I mean, I kind of do like the idea of the raptor being a lady, just because of that, yeah. I don't know why I'm opening my crafting bags. This is always really annoying. I think I'm going to start doing these runs and not accepting the invisible bags. I did it this time, though, because we got a little bit flooded because of the Palawan stuff. In fact, there's a vendor right here, so why don't we sell... At the end of the day, the discussion, the pronoun discussion we had there, isn't going to be very tangible or make much sense if I don't have a proper example to hand, which I don't, so there's no point really talking about it. Alright, we can delete the initial scepter as well. And yeah, we can tame up. Alright, boom. Specializations. Okay, good. Now, we get our second one, which we already spent the points on, which was illusions. So we get further confused on Shatter. We get lower cooldown on the Warden and the Berserker, which is great because these guys have been powerhouses. We get longer confusion and our Shatters come up faster, which is sort of alright. Maybe that will... I can't imagine 2 back-to-back distortions will save us live at any point, but who knows, maybe. We get Phantasmal Force. So, our Phantasm's damage permanently increase whenever they attack or gain might. I don't know how great this will be because mobs die quite a lot. What might be nice is spending some more points and going all the way up to Malicious Sorcery, which will increase our attack speed on the Scepter, which is good for the clone generation, which keeps mobs away from us, basically. And I don't know, it means more laser beams a little bit more frequently. I don't know if that's going to continue scaling well as a power strike, but we'll see. Now, if we're going to be running Phantasmal Force, I think the lower cooldown on the Phantasm attacks is a great idea. So we will run that. I mean, this is an interesting combo because a Shatter gives me... Oh, no, it gives me might. Obviously, giving them might's a stupid idea because they're about to kill themselves because they've just been shattered. And they're just straight up flat damage and combi damage for each of our things that are up. I think that's okay. I think Illusions is alright. So yeah, that's fine. Now, we've also got an elite skill to grab. And I think I want... I don't know what I want. Alright, guys. Second fastest finger first. Okay. What you're going to vote between is Signets, Glamours, or Manipulations. And what that actually means, what the actual vote is are we going for Moa, which is instant break bars on the few bosses that have them, but also people like Ajax we can actually turn into Moas, which I've actually talked about this a little bit. I think in a lot of cases I'd be more scared of the Moa than the default boss, especially when we get to Riz and stuff, but who knows, maybe we might be able to Moa Blightcast. That doesn't work, right, obviously, but maybe there'll be some fun situations for that. That would be more entertaining, I think. We can go for Mass Invis, which is probably the strongest skill for us. This will save our life probably multiple times because we can chain Decoy into Mass Invis and flee. Or Time Warp, which, I don't know, will speed us up a bit and our allies up. In, you know, that instance we just did a second ago, Time Warp might have been kind of cool. But not the greatest thing in the world. So, fastest finger first. Signets, Moa. Mass Invis, Manipulations. Or Glamours, Time Warp. The code is 34. They has been singular since the beginning of its usage. Yeah, like, I thought that when I said it a second ago. It's not quite, it's not a common situation. Let me put it that way. It's not as common as we would just use a pronoun like they that I'm talking about. All right, let's see. Oh god, I got a lot to scroll. What's this? Since the 14th century, they, including derivatives and inflected forms such as them, their, theirs, themselves, and themself, has been used with varying degrees of general acceptance to refer to a singular and antecedent. Antecedent? This usage is often called the singular they. Today is unexceptional and often regarded as incorrect, especially in the informal language. Really goes against the idea of a personal story. Oh, it's mentioned as a female raptor in the first instance as well. Oh, I thought it was like a shock twist that was supposed to make me smile at the end of the game. Oh. The consumables ArenaNet is releasing is turning all the characters in the story gay. Depends if the item they're referring to is inanimate or not, because I'm English and typical to apply the pronoun she to an inanimate object. Wikipedia is always 100% correct because this is crowdsourced. It's probably a side effect of the male privilege thing. Oh, it's definitely a result of being born into a, you know, a many centuries old patriarchal society. Absolutely. It definitely affects language, obviously. As a female, I've never noticed a single instance of a forced she anywhere. Why would I? Perhaps something to ponder on. That is interesting. Do you ever feel that there are forced he's? Do you ever feel that as you're reading a passage of text, a masculine pronoun is dropped in there, and you're like, oh, I didn't expect that. Not in like a blatant way you're reading r/relationships and you thought you were reading about a man sleeping with a woman, but you're actually reading about a woman sleeping with a woman. Not situations like that. Again, without an example, this is just so bad. How can using a she ever be forced unless it turns out Logan is suddenly a woman? What do I keep in my shared inventory slots? Right now, it's all cosmetic stuff. It's all cosmetic stuff. So, tonics and things. It's for this challenge, right? So we got this. We actually have the tiger thing as well, which I kind of wanted to use. We're going to take Brill with us. See? So we get a nice kitty cat on our back. Or we can take Nola with us. We'll go Nola. Nola on an awakened back. I like that. See, we're a happy, cool awakened, right? We're a savior awakened. Lower cooldowns on clone skills. Oh, is it also lower cooldowns on clones? Oh yeah, because they're all illusions, right? Snap. So that's good at least for decoy. Ah, and the defender too, if I actually get used to using it a lot. All right, let's see. Oh my god, I'm so caught up on chat. I seem to have really triggered people here. Well, not triggered people. Triggered a conversation. Congratulations, I think you just started an avalanche of discussion about genders, WP. That's exactly what your chat needed. Definitely. How do you play the game to make it more fast-paced? As when I play it, it just becomes very tedious. I don't understand what you mean. I'm doing a sort of a personal challenge right now, which makes the game more interesting, but yeah. All right, so, well, it was second fastest finger, wasn't it? What was the actual code? Mo is just, Royal's just spamming random shit here. Yeah, I mean, the other skills are nice. Veil, Veil I was looking at, but I was also looking at Blink, to be honest. Because Decoy and Blink will just help me get away from basically anything I care about in the game. Which is kind of nice. Alright, what was the code? I said 34, I guess, there. And second fastest finger first would have been Rav, who got manipulations. Okay. So, massive viz. Good stuff, dude. Good stuff. Oh. Alright. These two alone, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable now. Mirror images we've obviously never really cared about. And I don't really want to use. It was just because it was the previous category. I'll run Blink here. I said fastest finger second and then first. Ah, well, who cares? It's just a minor thing. All right, I'm just scrolling through chat because this stream's getting really boring if I'm just standing here talking about this boring topic. I notice when it's our relationships type stories and the author is intentionally making the genders ambiguous in a really noticeable way to the point where you start losing the thread of the story and are wondering more about the genders being discussed. Well, like they're just trying to obfuscate the fact that it's a gay relationship they're talking about, but they don't want that to be a tangent that everybody goes off on, right? So they're sort of trying to conceal it. I do notice that sometimes. All right, let's go here and head off north. Hey WP, have you heard about the WoW casual players' reaction to 7.3.5 leveling difficulty change? Should ArenaNet do the same? Kabads, no I haven't. Tell me, teach me the things. What is that? That sounds really good, dude. My philosophy lecturer always used she when referring to God, and it really annoyed me. I guess that's vaguely on the similar lines to what I was talking about, but not really, because, I mean, there is a real expectation that God is sort of a masculine figure, right? At least the Christian God, as we know it. That's interesting, though. I think the motivation behind what your lecturer is doing, though, is the same motivation that fuels what I was talking about, and still have no example for. And again, the conversation should probably end. I don't really tend to notice the point I've accidentally let people refer to me as a he for a long time. I mean, the thing is, I call men and women dude, right? I use a lot of, like, typically masculine terms to refer to women all the time. And I always wonder if it's upsetting vaguely, but I don't know. I just feel like... I don't know. I guess I don't have any strong thoughts either way. Not just the utility skills, but it's also stuff like Scepter 2 and Greatsword 2. Oh, Scepter 2 because it's a clone if you get the block that actually counts. Jesus, that's got to be one of the strongest cooldown reducing traits in the game then. And it's a minor, isn't it? Isn't it a minor? Yeah, what the fuck? And it's a 20% minor. That's so many skills then. Mesmer is a cool class to sort of learn a lot about. I'm not going to bother getting on the skimmer here. We're just going to go along. Illusion of life. When will you be ever be useful? You got to understand, man. It was very, very cool. One of my favorite PvP metas of all time. Seriously. We were utilizing Illusion of Life in a serious way. You got to understand, those instant reses were... I mean, Mesmer during those days was such a powerhouse. This was back when quickness was worth double what it is today. For utilities, it was such a powerhouse. It had Portal. It had the Time Warp plays. It would basically swing and win any team fight you wanted. Because it could AoE res 3 fucking people who were in the down state, who would then immediately just rip the enemy team to pieces, kill them, and then they'd all rally. So it's extremely potent ability, and then you'd obviously bring the time warps as well. Such a cool like aspect of the game. But then the game got very slow and bruisery and Condi heavy, and all of a sudden, if you Illusion of Life the body that was loaded with Condis, it would just fall down again dead instantly and stuff like that, and it just sort of all started falling away. AWP probably won't remember me, says Yoda QCE. I vaguely recognize the name. But I had asked a few questions a few weeks ago in terms of state of the game. I took your advice and jumped back in. I've been having a fantastic time with the past 2 weeks. Path of Fire is incredible. The amounts of dope. I got my Griffin a few days ago. Love you. That's so cool, dude. I'm really happy to hear that. Hopefully you still have a lot to do, even after you get your Griffin, too. We were talking a bit about rewards and consumables and stuff like that earlier. And when I say talking, I mean more of just verbal diarrhea and a giant rant. But, you know. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude is neutral to me too, Benji. My God, chat, you're going too quick. I need to... Dude is 100% gender neutral. But I saw a lady on Reddit really upset about being called dude a while ago. I think it was dude that was the word she was talking about. She was talking about, like... Every time she's referred... I think it was just generally every time she was referred to as dude or bungled in as... If someone says, hey, guys, and she's a part of the group, and she's, hey, guys, on the internet, she was talking about how it chips away at her every time, and it's, like, really, really hard to be a woman and stuff. And I'm not a lady, so I can't comment on that, but I did raise my eyebrows a little bit. I don't know. Dude is gender neutral for a few years. Dude is fine. You've called me man before, even though the clue is in my name, says the Gribble Girl. It's not really a clue, though, the Gribble Girl. It's not a clue. There's a load of guys that would go online and have lady, you know, suggestions that they're a woman in their name. My main in Guild Wars, and it's not in a weird way, it's not in a trolly way, it's not in like some gross, perverse, predatory way. It's just what they like. My main in Guild Wars 2 is called Liss. It's a female Asura. It's because I'm playing a video game. That's it. That's the whole story. But you know, people might think I'm a lady. In theory. So I don't know. And I think that expands to Twitch and stuff as well. The truth, here's the actual truth. The reason I would call you guy and dude and stuff is because I don't care if you're a girl. I don't care if you're a man. I don't care if you're a girl. It actually doesn't matter to me. I know the numbers of how many women there are, so I know by and large it's far more likely to be a guy that's speaking to me, but I actually don't care. And so, like, I'm going to be flippant about it. If I call you dude or whatever, I'm not going to feel particularly apologetic because I don't think it's important. It's the content of your character that's important, not whether you're a man or a woman, in my opinion. Anyway, look at all these deep thoughts. Look at all the. We need to do these in Quaggan voice. We went from merciless to dude. Verbal diarrhea adds to my vocabulary. I like saying verbal diarrhea. I was often, when I was young, described as having verbal diarrhea. Wooden potato dudes. Potato dudes is how you'd say it, I guess. Royal says, do you think I'm a lady or a man? WP, hashtag it's a trap. I don't think anything of you, Royal, except that you're very young. That's all I think. I think you're probably 15 or 16, tops. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is why we run Blink. We can't leave the instance or it's over. Shit, I remember Devourers are a bitch. They're actually still coming at me as well. This is bad. This is possibly rip. I distorted early. I probably shouldn't have. We're trying to get them low right now. There's the defender. 50% less damage. Plus protection right now. It's with the 33% we get there as well. We can counter spell this next one. Alright. We're going to have to do serpentines on this. The warden obviously can deflect the projectiles as well. This is going to be a really fun instance, just by the way. Or arc, even. I remember these guys. They fucking hit hard. Does this deflect at the moment? No, it doesn't. We need the trait for it to deflect. Or reflect. Multifaceted chat strikes again on WP. I think it's me that brings the multifacetedness. Very, very rude of you. Alright. Okay, that was a bit scary. What was our damage and what did they get hit with? Was it crits or was it just flat damage? Damage taken. Not even crits. That's a lot of hits, though. One of them crit. So what is it? They just attack fast, maybe? Alright, this could be really good. We're not going to be able to talk about boring stuff anymore because I'm going to have to focus on the game, I think. Hey, Sind, it's good to see you. If you've ever been curious about the top-level gameplay outside of PvP, you're about to watch it. Alright, so these are obviously not Devourers, so we don't have to be concerned about these guys. We're just going to try and get our cleave through as much as possible. What was that? Oh my god, something is hitting me quite hard. Do you know what? This lightning strike, it's like Weaver attacks. It's like the Weaver mix. Alright, we're gonna do this. We're gonna act like we got seaweed so that you see these projectiles coming at me. So that they miss. This is pretty bad. The branding do not dick about. Yeah, I've seen you put in World vs. World. I don't really know to what extent you PvE, dude. I've never really seen you PvP in. PvE in. After winning about 15 matches in a row, you said in PvP, I'll take 4 losses in a row and stop now. Alright. Minotaurs. These aren't the new upgraded ones with the Shatter update, are they? That knock you down and break bar and pummel you. I hope not. We'll go just with the regular mind rack there. So, the humans... All right, we'll block that. That's fine. We get the defender as well. This is going to look really boring, but I think the safest way is to preserve the defender and not shatter or anything. Because, again, remember, we've got... If people don't know, we've got mental defense here, which means when we block or evade, which basically on this build as it currently stands means when we land this illusionary counter, we summon a phantasm that reduces our incoming damage. So we got to watch out for that. This is going to be tricky. So here I'm going to let him deliberately... Oh, no. He doesn't even charge that far. All right, we'll let him deliberately hit us anyway. Never mind. You see how slowly these things attack? This is what I'm talking about. I would rather fight this than a mower. If I mowed him, he'd become more dangerous to me. Seriously, he would. Another human. We can just pull the warden... Ugh, I thought I'd weapon swapped. We can just pull the warden up on these and make sure we stand behind these. When there's only one, it's fine. And again, didn't we discover on a stream that the autos, the clones that we summon on the autos, do replace our phantasms? Because I thought that wasn't a thing, but it did happen on the other stream, didn't it? Which means if we auto too much, if we took malicious sorcery... and we autoed too much, we could actually despawn our warden, which wouldn't be too good. Okay, that ring there, branded crystals, branded lightning. I'll leave it up here so you guys can see here. Branded barrage. They seem to have their own skill set. They really do. It seems like the devs actually... I'll tell you why, actually. I'll tell you why these guys have got their own unique skills and have actually had extra work put in. It's because they're branded in the Blaze Ridge Steppe area, which is one of the first places the devs ever made. They made Queensdale and they made this place. So this was back before they had to start churning shit out big time. And they would have actually thought about stuff like this. That's why there's this higher level of quality here. I'm telling you, Blaze Ridge Steppes, if you look at the way that the events are structured, if you look at a lot of the stuff in that map, it's one of the most high quality core experiences you can have. And it's just because it was like one of the early things they did when they were really trying to work out and impress people with the game. And the fact they have their own skill set might be might be why they're hitting so hard right now, because they've sort of eluded other areas of balance and changes over the years. Ogre's corpse is barely mangled. Okay, rock dogs. If they leap on us like the ice hounds do, it could be pretty bad. We got to kill them though, because John Core is the thing. Actually, does this work on NPCs? No, it doesn't. Again, I do miss this skill. Trust me, this was really cool. Anyway. I suppose it shouldn't come as a shot. I'm deliberately moving in here to hold them in the warden. Just so that we get max damage out. There I made sure to shatter just before the mirror blade landed so that we get the clone generation. It wouldn't be wasted. Mental defense ICD is probably not off. That was just for torment. Alright, they do seem to hit a bit, but it's just bite. Okay. I think that's instance 1, unless we've also got to escort him out. I can't really remember. An odd idea I heard from someone, could ArenaNet play on the idea of a map frozen in time, a meta joke, and the fact we have to keep a dragon asleep? Could we have a map in Living World Season 4 where we have to keep the dragon asleep? Benji, I don't actually understand what that comment is. What do you mean? What dragon? What are you talking about? You're talking about the Order of Whispers plan to send them back to sleep? I mean, that would kind of make sense since we've got the other Order of Whispers now and the Chantry we'll be going to and stuff. It'd be kind of cool to see that be experimented with. But didn't we kind of do that in episode 5 anyway? Yeah, I mean, the cooldown is ridiculous. But I'll tell you, there were metas, right? Before all the Condi and, again, bruiseriness. When you could ensure that by doing this, you could swing a team fight. This was a very, very, very cool skill. And it was one of the most exciting things about playing as a Mesmer. Just imagine, like, the opening of, let's say you've just ported close on the, you know, super classic style stuff here. You've just opened your team. Your team is off team fighting. You're on Forest and Niflhell. Oh dearie me, I'm scared. We have to defeat it. Oh dear. You've just ported close. The team fight's engaged. You go up there. You slam there with the time warp, with the double strength quickness from back in the day. A couple of your mates are dead. You illusion of life them. They're up. And they, you know, you get a double rally on it. because their bodies were next to each other. A thief went down maybe or something, and he blinked next to your guardian. Everyone's back up. This is possibly a rip run. This is really bad. We're going to block the next one. Okay, no, it missed. I've got 3 things, so my signet is at max efficiency right now. Okay, we got the block. Okay, I think we can just side strafe. He is really tanky, though. Okay, will the warden obstruct this one? We'll see. It might arc over it. Here we go. He's firing now. No, it didn't. We got the block. So, we need to strafe every other one, I think. So, strafe, and now we can block. If I do it from here, we can keep him loaded with torment as well. What happened there? I'm gonna... Okay, by the way, I just want to be clear. I did deliberately face tank that, but only because the last one didn't land at all. How is he... I'm stealthed! What? Alright. Oh no, I've LOS'd him. Oh no, autos. Oh no. Oh, I know we've got distort up. Okay, I did it. I panicked. I panicked distorted. This is death. If he hits me here, it's death. We're watching the side of the instance. Him moving right now is actually fine because torment. Oh, this is bad, guys. This is bad. Why have I got this on? If I had blink on, we could use that to get out of a siege for free. Okay, that's fine. We strafe out of the next one. It's okay. Let's put a defender up. I don't know why I haven't had a defender up. Okay, we need to start rotating as well. We need to actually start doing things. Full speed running away on that one. That's good. Oh, hold on. That I wasted. Hold on. Hold on though. Hold on. Shit. Get away. If I just serpentine, I think we're 100% okay. No, we're not. No, we're not okay. We're not 100% okay. Why is he so bad sometimes? I don't understand it. Maybe I need to serpentine slower? What is this? Maybe he doesn't do any predictive targeting at all. Oh, I see. He doesn't know how to predictively target at all. I think where it lands is determined at the start of him sitting down. I think it's going to land there. Yeah. If you watch, he kneels down. So we'll face tank this for the torment, obviously. But so 3, 2, 1. Now it's already determined it's going to be there because the animation's too slow. All right, that's fine then. All right, if we have to fight anymore, I'm not scared of these anymore, unless they're like. So it's going to be here. Unless it's like a surprise devourer. Or fighting 2 at once might be tricky to watch where they plant themselves. That's fine. Why did one of them hit us so hard? I guess it crit. No, it didn't crit. Were we low when we got hit by it? I don't understand. Why did one of them take us to 10% health? I don't see anything in the log that suggests it could have done that. We got 7k. None of these are over 3. I don't know what that was. We totally were 100 and went to, like, almost dead, didn't we? Will I be doing a story on the video and Daybreak episode? Oh, that's a question I've never had before. Yeah, I will be. I promise I will be. Gender has a very strong psycho. We're still talking about gender, are we? Shatterer flying off over there. Looks good with no fog, actually. He will at some point, and I think he may have done some in some form already. WP regurgitate the plot for us. I will, dude. I will. I'll chew it up like a mother bird and then spit it back in your mouth. Don't worry. That's what I do for a living. I wasn't really I did bring it up to an extent for sure, but also I was more interested in the utilization of language and author intent. That's what I was really trying to talk about. I don't actually care about the specific coat of paint over it, which is that of a discussion on gender. Wow. Nice to see that he can land on trees like that. That's beautiful. Okay, so tame rock dogs to lure out the alpha. Okay, rock dogs don't concern me. I do feel like we're not doing much damage anymore, but I wonder if that's just because we were fighting a particularly tanky mob. I'll also point out, if I had blocked too early on illusory counter, we could have double tapped it for a blind. That boss did not have a break bar or anything, so blinds would have invalidated his sieges as well. So that's something we can do later also. We can even, no, I don't want to invest in blinds any heavier than, like, with ineptitude and stuff, but it's a shame that taming is just killing, really, at the moment, but there you have it. It's interesting, a lot of Western languages, once you're in a group of at least one man to however many women, you always use the male pronoun to describe it. For example, in English, you say guys, which arguably nowadays is gender neutral, but the origin is from a masculine word. I don't really know what the feminine equivalent to guys is anyway. If I was out on a night with all my girlfriends, and it's all us, we're all ladies, I guess girls, right? But that would be sort of the equivalent to boys, really. What's the sort of more informal sort of version of, hey girls, let's go, G-U-R-L-S? A girls with a U instead of an I? Which obviously you can't really hear as you speak. Gals? Oh yeah, guys and gals. Yeah. Gals is kind of this weird, I have these weird like 1950s United States vibes with though. Hey gals. I don't know. Ladies night with WP. Yeah, hold my Cosmo. Hold my Cosmo. You'll see plenty of gifs of me on that. Current favorite subreddit, as you all know, I'm multifaceted. I'll give you different subreddit recommendations each stream. Hold my Cosmo. We usually say ladies. Girlfriends. That's another one. G-U... Now we're spelling that G-U-R-L-S F-R-A-N-D-S. Such as this. All caps optional, but we'll get you some more attention. Oh yeah, girls with a Z.
That was easier than I thought.
Oh, I love hearing the shatter roar as we explore here. It's cool. Oh my god, this yawn. Either I'm very tired or this isn't the most entertaining gameplay. But hey, we voted Mesmer. We'll see how far we can get on it. A lot of Shadow of the Dragon showing there. Philanor says we're all androids soon. Gender has less and less identity. I'm up for that. Let's just pass the technological singularity and yeah, we'll be good. We'll all become androids. Just like in my Stellaris campaign. Assimilating all biologicals. Purge all the Xenos. Add blink back. Oh, yeah. Good point. I really don't want Illusion of Life on there. So, I wonder how scary these guys are. They're quite a rare enemy, actually. Variety. You don't fight many warhounds or whatever they are. But so, let's see. Sourfang. Okay, so he actually does have a break bar. This would have been a reasonable mower situation. But, we'll see how we feel. Oh, he's dying really quickly. Never mind. Pathetic. First legendary boss. Why is he legendary? Why is he legendary, ArenaNet? Like, it's just meaningless? Like... See here, this is such utter crap. Because I was Scepter autoing, the despawning of my Phantasm, my illusions rotated such that I replaced the Warden with the Berserker. When really what I wanted to do was replace the clones with the Berserker. And again, I swear the devs had done that, but... Yeah. Very underwhelming boss fight. Never mind. I'm drunk talking with 3 people at once about gender. Help me. What have I started? You bring it on yourself, man. I don't know what to say. What's some other easy hot topics you can mention in Twitch chat to just completely sour and pollute the chat with discussion on? Could talk about the current state of American politics. Just do some very light-hearted slagging off of the Republicans, and everyone will freak out and disappear from chat. That's another good one. Yeah, call people stupid for believing in God. That's another good one. What else is there? Oh, speaking of, like, religion, though, I saw an amazing video yesterday of a choir that were, and it was a religious thing because they had the crucifix in the background. I don't know in what capacity they were doing things, but it was a choir that imitated the sound of a rainstorm, of a thunderstorm, just by rubbing their hands together and clicking. If you get, like, 60 people doing this, it sounds like raindrops on, like, a conservatory window or whatever. And they were, like, moving their hands together to make it sound like a gentle pattering. And they managed to simulate the sounds of thunder and stuff. And then they sang Toto by Africa by Toto, which was the coolest goddamn thing I've ever heard. And it made me want to go watch some more live experiences with songs and things, because the mix was so good. There was one woman who I wish her voice was louder in the mix, because if she'd cut through the background, it would have sounded like angelic. But she was too quiet, her mic was too low. But the rest of it was just phenomenal. It was really, really good. So this lake, I always tell this story. It's an amazing story, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Okay. This lake is, actually, who knows this? Does anyone in chat, I'm gonna ask chat, does anyone know what this anecdote is I'm about to say? Because if you know what it is, I'm not gonna say it. Because I spend my life repeating myself. Even this stupid gender thing was something I've talked about before. What is this? What is the anecdote I want to say about this pond of harpies? What is it? Who knows? Who knows? No, we don't have any idea. All right, okay. So basically, here's what it is, guys. First, I'm pissing myself right now, so I'm moving back. The first ever footage or gameplay of Guild Wars 2 ever was here in Blaze Ridge Steps. They did a convention at Gamescom 2010, or it might have been 2009. I think it was 2010. It was shortly after the official trailer had been revealed. And there was shaky cam footage that was coming from the demo floor of people on their phones filming the game, filming the monitors. But, you know, we're talking 8 years ago now. That you know, it wasn't the clarity that we have these days. So most of it was really terrible. The first ever footage of Guild Wars 2 to release to the internet that I eagerly watched with all my peers on Guild Wars 2 Guru was of a char at Blaze Ridge at here, Steel Eye Span. And it was a few seconds long, and it showed off the UI and stuff, and it was like, okay, that looks kind of interesting. The second thing, and many other sources of footage that came very quickly, was a player here at this pool, at this pond, at nighttime, playing as a char with the Ascalonian weapons, which was what on that demo they defaulted the game with. It was with energy. It was, you know, a completely different experience to what you're looking at here on this stream. Completely different. And it was shaky cam, and it was bizarre and hard to see. But they were a char playing an elementalist, and they like walked over here somewhere, and they cast the elite skill Tornado. And this was early design of Guild Wars 2, where you know, things were handled very differently, in preferable way, in my opinion, for a PvE experience at least. And you know, the idea of elite skills were very different. It wasn't stuff like Berserker's headbutt and stuff, where it was just another thing on your bar, and they all needed low cooldowns to be competitive and to be interesting. They were more like elite skills were more like, say, overdrives or limit breaks you might expect in the Final Fantasy series, or a lot of cooldowns you find in other MMOs where you get tons of skills. Basically, they were obscenely powerful skills on obscenely long cooldowns. And again, depending on the kind of RPG this is and the pace of the content and how leveling would work and stuff, that idea for an elite skill could have been really good. Guild Wars 2 never ended up that game. It's all fast. It's all very instant gratification. It's all very quick. Go, 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 go. And so elite skills have all been balanced to be like 90-second cooldowns and stuff. But back then it was like 5-minute cooldowns, 6-minute cooldowns, and so on. And that's what Tornado was. And a guy was here fighting harpies, and he summoned Tornado. He became a tornado. And watching an Ellie become a tornado, like that novelty of those transforms was mind-blowingly exciting back then. Like, you can only imagine. Now it's old hat and it's like, whatever. But especially like with the mechanical, like the gameplay space that was another time, it was really cool. And we watched him charge into some guys on the tornado and do some damage. I don't think Tornado had any skills back then either. But so that was my first experience of seeing this pond with the harpies, and it was one I will always remember. Well, maybe not always, but for a longer damn time. Probably a decade from now, I'll still remember. Yeah, I think Phoenix would have been on staff then, but I don't remember what weapons he was using. I don't remember if he had Phoenix on staff. And I've never... By the way, I'm a bit of an enthusiast for those early days of Guild Wars, and, you know, I've actually got a folder on my PC where I have saved as much old footage of the game as I can get, because those sources go missing. The websites that hosted it go down. The channels associated get locked in YouTube. People, you know, just it disappears. People are always like, the internet always remembers. It doesn't. You'd be amazed at how much shit just disappears from the internet and just falls and goes away. Like, I'm actually quite interested in that kind of stuff, like preserving the history, right? And so I've hunted down as much footage as I can find, and I cannot find the footage that I'm currently talking to you about. Got no idea where it is. It's gone. I think I do have footage of the very first one, though, of Steel Eye Span. I think I do have that. Is it weird that when I saw the shaky cam footage, I knew I was going to love the game, even though the footage was bad? No, because, you know, no one's judging the quality of the footage, really. That was just random convention goers that did it. Remember GeoCities? Yeah, man. Oh, sorry, GeoSites. Yeah, that's a sign, right? GeoSites is old. I was like a kid on the internet when I used to use GeoSites. And I just said out loud GeoCities. It's because when I, you know, this is the age I was when I first started using that website and looking at it, and I didn't really pay much attention. I still fuck up pronunciation and stuff, but that's a bad one. Yeah. Jesus. And in my brain, it's still GeoCities. That's funny. Defend them while they fell the trees. Can I help them fell the trees? Nope. Obstructed, apparently. Any discussion on Twitch is polluting? No, I think there could be good chat on Twitch. Did I navigate web rings too? Web rings. I don't recognize that. You always thought it was GeoCities 2... ... I'm glad I'm not alone. No, it's GeoSites, isn't it? That's what someone just typed in chat. Oh, no, it is GeoCities, so I'm not a moron. No, it is GeoCities. All right, good, good. Good. I had a real moment there where I was like, fucking hell, I'm such a moron. Okay, no, it is GeoCities. All right, there you go. Yeah, there is the Wayback Machine. There are other initiatives. I do try to use those as best I can, but they only take sort of very infrequent snapshots. And you'll see, like, a lot of stuff. It was really... It feels like it was around 2000... Oh, I don't know, because Guild Wars was later than that. Guild Wars 2 stuff. I don't know. Did this bug, by the way? What's going on here? I mean, a part of it's certainly bugged. But this has been like this for years, so... what, do I need to walk near the trees and hope that they do it? I don't want to have to re-kill these harpies. This arc is taking ages. If this was Hylook, we would have done ages ago. Hello? I mean, this tree's at 50%. I mean, it is just... We can kill it with shatters. Should we kill it with shatters? I don't know what I can do, really. Obstructed. I reckon if we equip a sword, we'll be able to just hit it. I think with a sword, we'll be able to do it ourselves. So let's... Oh, except I deleted the sword, didn't I? Ugh. Are there any utilities that might... Alright, there we go. Oh, here we go. We got a tree branch. Smack my foe with a branch. It has a chance to break. Instantly broke, for God's sake. Really? This is what we have to do now? Really? Oh, come on. Old footage I remember was showing off an Asura running and stopping animations in the open world. OG PvP capture points and the Shatterer boss fight. The Asura animations were mind-blowing as a Guild Wars 1 player at the time. See, to me, by the time they were showing off the Asura was like the last thing they made, by the way. Metrica Province and stuff was like right at the end. And playable Asura demos were like late stage demos to me. They were like, it was quite a bit in, really. By the time we were getting that, the materia-styled traits were, you know, already deprecated. Energy was gone, obviously. A lot of stuff had sort of changed. I don't remember that exact video that you're talking about there, though. What else do I remember? There were a lot of demos where the devs would walk people through Blaze Ridge, and they'd do like a, you know, a private showing or whatever, and they would always start in Queensdale, and they would show you the opening instance. They'd show you the opening boss fight and talk about how important they felt it was that you felt like a hero early on and you were fighting big badass things and doing exciting stuff. And then they'd go to Divinity's Reach and they'd talk a bit about the personal story, and then they'd show you some stuff in Divinity's Reach, including the archery shootout range, which to this day, 2K18 is not a part of Guild Wars 2. Even though we've had adventure infrastructure for 3 years now. Then after they've done a walkthrough of DR, they take you into your home instance and show a little bit of the party instance, I think it was. Then they'd swap to a high-level character. They go to the char, and you'd be in Blaze Ridge, and they would do a tour, a guide through some Blaze Ridge stuff, and wait for the Shatterer to spawn. And then everyone would go and fight the Shatterer out in Blaze Ridge as a massive Zerg, with all the developers playing back in Seattle, amongst all the convention goers on the floor, the showroom floor in Cologne. That's what they did. And they did loads of those. So there were lots of videos of those. And they tended to be the best ones because actual press was getting in and filming those. And obviously you'd have the developer talk through. I watched so many of those videos. It got to the point for me where I gained an enormous respect for some of those devs. Like, I remember, he doesn't work for ArenaNet anymore, but I remember a guy called Eric Flanham, who was like one of the lead game designers, right, during those days and for the early launch of Guild Wars 2. And I remember he was doing those talks, and I must have watched like so many where he had to stand up and do the same talk again and again and again. And I'm like a complete nutter, loser, no-life nerd that was enjoying it and like trying to just extract a little bit of different information each time. But I watched so many of those, I gained a huge amount of respect for him and other devs like him who basically had to dedicate not just one convention and one weekend of their life, plus the flights in and out, but like 3 or 4 of them doing the same thing, going over the same talk, the same presentation again and again and again and again. I remember one of the conventions, they ended by showing us Ranger gameplay. Ranger was not an available class in the earliest demos. It wasn't. But they unlocked Ranger just for one final thing at the end of the show. And took it to like an area of Queensdale that no one had seen yet. And don't forget, back then, the game felt massive and... you know, mounts weren't in it. 25% movement speed buffs weren't the norm. Swiftness was a lot rarer. And obviously it's all new and fresh. So even just going to Gods of Swamp felt like a trek away, right? Tyria felt like a world. It felt like a big, explorable fantasy RPG. The perspective that veteran players these days could never hope to bring back, especially not with balance and the direction that the devs took the game in. But yeah, they took a ranger onto like a house, I think it was, and they were showing off some short bow skills, and they showed off like some underwater UI and stuff. I have footage of that as well, actually. I've got that on my hard drive. Yeah, good times. Same talk over and over again. Welcome to being a teacher. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I could ever be a real teacher. I mean, I like teaching people things, and I like to think that if I understand what their base level of knowledge is, I'm probably alright-ish at it. But to do it as a profession, I think would be soul-crushing. Especially the way that a lot of us in the Western world as kids treat education. We don't actually want to be there. We'd rather be out. We don't understand the value of it. We don't see our teachers as human beings even. We just want to take the piss out of them and make classes a hassle and whatnot. You know, I would never want to teach myself. I was such a prick at school. Do you know what I mean? Like, from the teacher's perspective, well, charming and nice, big-headed, but a dick, especially if I fell on the wrong side of a specific teacher. Sort of make their life hell. And also just disruptive for other people's learning too, which is just so gross to look back at. Could be a real teacher. What am I teaching now? I'm teaching Guild Wars 2, man. This is my semester on Guild Wars 2. So you sit down. There's a lot to learn. It's a big game. There are a few entertainment products you can get so much discussion out of than video games. And of video games, the king of complexity and things to learn has to be the MMO genre. So, you know, keep it down. Buy my book as supplementary learning materials, $250 US. And give me some tuition fee. Sweet dollar cash. It's also known as subscribing. You can click the subscription link on the screen just down below. Alright, I'm done. You were not an easy student either, to be honest. What? This is so... What a laugh is that? That's actually grotesque. Alright, if he sieges, it should be now. No, I don't know what he's doing. Again, no break bars. So, actually turning a siege devourer into a mower might be interesting. No, I said 250. I didn't say 52. Oh, I pressed the button, but it didn't go for some reason. I swear I pressed the button. We're alright. He's sieging us. We're good. It's all gravy, baby. So I just got to move now because it should... Alright, it's dead. The sub button on Twitch is a top up. Thank you very much. Is that? Oh, it's up top. Sorry. Oh, is it? Is it up top? Oh, yeah, it is up top.
Well,
Look, I'm bad at my job as well. Let's just be clear about this. Speaking of subs, some people did sub earlier. I don't know why. Well, this is a lame chat we've had today. Jimmy Allen, it's good to see you, man. Thank you. And Gongol earlier too. You guys are awesome. I kind of want the pistol. Duelists might be interesting with Phantasmal Force because they proc it 8 times per volley. I think they do. If they proc that 8 times per volley, does that mean that the Greatsword procs per packet of damage as well? So if the Greatsword swings through a packet of 5 mobs and it cleaves each of them 3 times, would it get to 15 stacks immediately? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, no, they don't. Oh, okay. Really? Wow, so 1 volley is 1 stack of Phantasmal Force. That's utterly... That's trash. That's really bad. I want to check this. And I'm excusing myself for not knowing much about Phantasmal Force because it's relatively new. He got 4 stacks. And only after the volley ends? What? ArenaNet? Why? What? How many strikes is a volley? It's not 4 strikes, is it? No, that looked like it was... It should be 8, is it? Shouldn't it? Yeah, it's 8 packets. Why does he get 4 stacks per volley then? I mean, I get it. I kind of like that. That seems like they've put that in there deliberately to benefit the pistol, but like that's like a weird, obscure, like undocumented, unlisted feature there. I don't know whether that's really the way they should be handling developing the game. That's very strange. I'm not sure I want pistol anyway. I think that the focus is better, especially if we're going to have more devourers. Oh, no, we finished the chapter. Thank God for that. We finished that chapter. Christ. All right, the Mesmer has now officially got further than the Necro. The Necro died on that equivalent mission because of the cannon thing, which was our last character. So level 60 now, guys. This has been a slow character. This has been a really slow run. I mean, what... What more can we expect on Mesmer, though, I suppose? Alright, Almora at the Vigil Keep. We are another 10 levels. We get another category of utilities if we care for them. It might be nice to pick up Veil. It is only 1 point in as well. But I think these three are quite nice, honestly. I mean, feedback might be quite good as well. Because I could chain feedback after Wardens. Let's see. What chapter are we going into? Oh, it's the Claw Island chapter we're on now. We have an underwater instance. That's the next one. Underwater. Shit. What's going to help us underwater? What utilities does Mesmer... We'll wait. We'll wait for this purchase until we're in the water. We will wait. We got the sewers. Which, one of the hardest encounters we've had recently was doing this on the Rev. I can't really remember. I'm so sad that Rev died. What killed that Rev again? I can't remember. Oh, it was the fucking Norn, wasn't it? It was that double Norn fight. The duo Norn. That was gross. Please, Mesmer leveling is 80 tomes. Yeah. Merciless without the tome add-on on a Mesmer. Pfft, screw that. You saw the tweet about the contest. When do we get to here? We're just putting all the entries onto the website. I'm going to be building a montage and a special video for you all as a thank you and a blah, blah, blah. And I need to logistically figure out how to distribute 60,000 gems, 80 different items across 35 contest entrant winners. I've got to like figure out the logistics of how I'm giving that stuff out and over what time frames, and not getting the wrong account names and not giving the wrong codes and all of that stuff. So that's sort of some other stuff I need to figure out just before we go for the full announcement. I've already figured out a lot of those logistics I did at the inception of the competition. Like, I've got, like, this might put some undue attention on me here, but I do actually have a file on my PC which lists out about 61,000 gems in value, all banded, all the codes for all of them, all banded into various tiers for which, you know, which entrant should win what and at what tier and all of that stuff. So, if that were to go missing, someone could just give themselves 60k gems. Be pretty bad. But yeah, so I just got some little things like that to figure out, and I'm giving Welk all the time he needs. He's a new father. He's got a, you know, I'm not going to force any kind of strict schedule on him to get the website stuff going. Breezy Motions. WP got me hooked on Stellaris. So soul crushing, so addictive. I don't know if I should thank you or scorn you, dude. Dude, make sure you, once you're done getting your achievements or whatever, make sure you look into some of the mods. Get planetary diversity. Get some of the new event mods. Man, and make sure you look at Apocalypse, the Apocalypse expansion, and what's coming out there. Oh, I just got my achievement for destroying all biological pops for the entire galaxy. Subjugating, owning, or purging all of them. The only other empires that existed were robot empires. I was like, don't worry, I'll leave you guys alive. It was awesome. I managed to kill a fallen, a stagnant empire really quickly. And I just snowballed like fucking mad and just destroyed the entire galaxy. It was a good campaign. I was playing Determined Exterminators, the preset X2111 robot guys. I haven't made my own races for a while. I'm trying to beat the game on each of the preset races. Some of them aren't interesting though. And I suck at the blog. I'm not very good at the blog. They're basically like gross, ugly, smelly aliens that love other aliens, but nobody wants to be friends with them. So you got to like beat the game through diplomacy and making federations, but nobody wants to be around you. It's really hard. Are the graphic mods any good? Yeah, they are. Get real space, dude. Sorry, this is such a boring conversation for everyone who's only here for Guild Wars. Get real space, though. If you play Stellaris, get real space. Okay, so, yeah, we're going underwater here, and this is a pretty tricky instance. So let's see what we got. What do we get underwater as a Mesmer? Oh, Illusion of Life! Fucking sweet, mate. Alright, so Arcane Thievery did have the buff that gives it slow and quickness. Do I care much? I think the answer is no. We picked the Trident earlier. Imagine this, if we hadn't picked the trident, we'd be screwed. All we would have is shatters to beat the instance. We do get mass invis. Time warp works underwater. Slow might help us kite. Not because it will affect his movement speed, but it will lengthen his animation, his attacking animation, enough for me to be able to strafe around him, maybe? Mass invis would help me shake aggro onto Forgul. Decoy, I think, is a guaranteed we need if we get low. Do all these others work? Mantras work? We might want to pick up some mantras then. Maybe the mantra of pain and just keep rolling little damage ticks on him. Does he poison? I can't remember. I don't think he does. I need pressure. This is the problem. I need pressure. Mesmer doesn't have any pressure. He doesn't have any projectiles. There's the shark we've got to fight as well. We could run the signets for some condi damage. We do get bleed on auto, and the whaler inflicts confusion. So some condi duration and damage from going double signet, maybe? He doesn't apply boons to himself, so Arcane Thievery's bad for that. Mirror Image just for some more shatter fuel? And the Defender? I don't know. Chat, any advice from people in chat? Any advice? We are free, basically, to pick up all these wills now, by the way. Oh, not all of them. Probably except one. It's going to be a while before we get to the third specialization. Let's face it, we're probably dead at that point. Yeah, underwater Mesmer DPS. I mean, we'll be holding whalers out, right? So first of all, we want the signet on. We're basically going to be spamming whalers. What's our clone on? Everyone's got every weapon set has a clone, doesn't it? Even underwater. Wow, there's no clone on the underwater kit. I didn't know that. Oh, no, there is. There is. Spinning Revenge. So we're not going to use this. Retail to allies and summon a clone. Fuck that. We're going to basically just get 3 whalers out. I'll tell you what I want. I want signets to increase the tankiness of the whalers. Signet of Illusions. I'm going to run that instead of... that. We also have the trait that increases their tankiness. It's a minor, isn't it? Isn't it a minor? Is it a minor? Does that exist? Am I imagining things? Is it a Grandmaster? Oh, maybe I'm imagining things. Or is it dueling? Maybe it's a dueling thing. I swear there's a trait somewhere that increases durability of phantasms. Oh yeah, we heal on shatters. I forgot that we got that. I totally forgot we got that. Oh, and we do have reflection as well. This is actually a really tricky choice here. This would have really helped against those Devourers earlier. Because it's the skill itself is a high base damage skill, so it would have done wonders. Heal around me when I finish preparing a mantra. I forgot about all of this. There's no break bar, Hamato, but the stun would be nice to peel away. 3 seconds days. No, it's a stun. It is a stun, isn't it? Yeah, maybe that. Oh, I have it on. It's the first one in Inspiration. Oh, persisting images. Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, so those two, I will try it like this. If this goes badly, we can probably kite out because of mass invis and decoy and go another route. We can't kite through this tunnel, obviously. Forgul should snap to us, by the way. He's dead. You can see him dead over there on the minimap. He died to the Devourer. If we also... Oh, I really want Forgul with me. This is a bit broken right now. We should have killed that bat. I can't believe he got 1v1'd by the bat. Did he snap? His body seems to have disappeared. Alright, we're first just breaking aggro on the jellies. We could do that quite quickly with a stealth here, but I'm going to save it for the fight. What we want as well is that shark to aggro the mobs that are under it, the gulperfish, because if he fights the gulperfish will kill him. So we're going to do that. We're going to come down to the gulperfish. Yeah, okay, look, that shark's fighting there. And then we're just going to... We'll wait for this shark to die. In fact, I'll get a sense of how much damage I do. Oh, so these are like duelists. Right, okay. I really want to press this to recharge it, but that's fine. Oh my god, we bounced a lot of damage through there. Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, pulling them up. Maybe they'll still fight one another. The 2s are blind, right? Yes, good. The fucking shark. He came at me so fast. Alright, there's our double stealth. Once the shark's dead, we can be a lot less fearful. If we can break combat, we'll be fine. There we go. Alright, we broke combat. The scout's even fighting them, which is good as well. So we can probably cheese the whole thing now. Alright. We're fine. I think we got this. That was a lot of hoo-ah and fuss about nothing there, really. I think Ellie might struggle here because if it gets charged by a shark because its vitality is that much lower, but otherwise we're fine. Actually, these guys being ranged is beautiful because it means that there's no chance the scout will retarget them while we're ramping. And these will ramp as well. They'll get Phantasmal Force too. That's kind of exciting. All right, we're pulling away. This guy does Condi, actually. I remember now. Isn't it a bit of chill and poison, I think? But as ranged NPCs, as long as I keep kiting vaguely near the whalers, we can blind him with a 2 there too. Why not? Ineptitude might be kind of fun underwater with the blinding tide. I mean, the cooldown's really long. That's it. That's it. I mean, look at this. This, if anything's core Guild Wars 2 balance, that's it. Fucking 12-second cooldown for what? A blind. One blind, 12-second cooldown. Most skills in the game now randomly blind. Well, no, that's a lie, but you get what I mean. That's crazy. I mean, yes, it's got a packet of damage on it. Yeah, Signet of Domination is what I run in PvP. No, sorry, Signet of Midnight is what I've been running in PvP a lot.
My father died, as did his father. I've always assumed enough of my...
It might even be better than Decoy, to be honest, because it sort of does what Decoy does, but more, really. Decoy is a 3-second stealth. This one's only 2. They're both stun breaks. This one splashes a blind out around me, and for as long as I'm not using it, I get Condi duration. Which, considering all the Scepter gameplay that we've sort of been forced into with our weapon picks, it might be nice, actually. I might swap that on. Sorry. Like so. And then the Defender. I mean, this is all underwater, so it's irrelevant. We'll swap that when we get on land. Decoy draws aggro, though. Yeah, because of the clone. But, I mean, if the clone instantly dies anyway... Oh, the good old English Forgel commentary. Been a while. Yeah, it has been a while. He's been German and French and stuff. Alright, so now we see the Fall of Claw Island. We cannot Signet of... Sorry, we can't Illusion of Life. The guys on the beach, which is a real shame. But, we've got enough stealth that we'll be able to get through. So anyway, this is sort of challenge 1. If people didn't keep up with Jeb's streams, his Merciless NG died here. Sorry, his Merciless Rev died here. It was on all the mobs that stack on that corner wall, which you've seen me struggle with in the past before. But he obviously had no way to anticipate it. I don't think we'll die on this instance at all. I can't imagine anything that will kill us. It's just going to be slow. It's just going to be... Everything about Mesmer's slow, so... A 2 to 3 hour long VOD? What's this VOD? What?
creature we found hadn't been in Lion's Arch long.
Yeah, I mean, it would be kind of funny if I died now after I said I don't think I'm going to, but I really don't think I'm going to. I mean, we just know the instance very well. Unless I get caught, like, unless I'm really... If you guys get me ranting about something dumb, and I'm very distracted, I'll die. Obviously, that can happen at any point. That's what a lot of these toons die to. But otherwise, I think we'll be alright. Should we change the outfit? I'm sort of done with looking gross. What do you guys, pick an outfit. Fastest finger first, 98. Any outfit you may pick. It's up to you. We're a Mesmer, remember, so. We've been a witch and we've been a Sunspear. And now we're bored again, so. Spitsky says, let's get him ranting. Oh, we've gone... Okay, Gullstab says witch, so you want to go back to witch, okay? Alright, there you go. I mean, it is very gross dies, but we can change that later. Alright, so we go to Mira, who's about to get savaged in her face within the next 10 minutes.
its way from ore. You must prepare your troops.
If we fall, our last order is to light those 3 signal towers. We have to warn Lion's Arch if the fortress is lost. In 100 years, they've never once been lit. We're very proud of that.
Deputy Mira, sound the alarm. There are undead on the beach.
If an invasion's really coming, we'll need everyone on the island to hold the line.
Alright. We'll start Greatsword. We'll put him in. What? Why? Oh, did I just use that for swiftness? God damn it. So dumb. Again, make sure we target the back. I really don't like... I don't like the Phantasmal Force, Phantasm Illusions angle paired with those shitty Scepter autos. I don't like it. I'm pretty tempted to just pick up... Maybe we should just stay on Greatsword for ages? Run the Greatsword trait that gives us might? At least see how it feels? I mean, it really looks terrible, but... It is named after one of the very first Mesmer skills you ever get in the entire franchise.
I thought you said the attack would be significant.
It was a feint. They're testing your defenses.
Oh no, that's a domination trait anyway.
And soon.
Makes sense. Report to Watch Commander Talon and tell the men to be ready.
I don't know, man.
I have studied Orient creatures.
Alright, back to Commander Talon. We're in danger. No valid path.
You think the commander will listen to us? Even with all my research,
We're gonna rescue Mira and die. Well, yeah, if we die, it will be rescuing Mira, or it will be the defense of the courtyard at the end of the instance. It will be one of those two places if we die. Clearing A-bombs on the walls, I'm not concerned about. Trebbing the thing, I'm not concerned about. Lighting the signal beacon, I'm not concerned about. It's just the courtyard fight and it's Resing Mira. Those are the only two dangerous bits. Resing Mira will just be slow though. We probably won't die. We'll only die if I get impatient. But if we're going to be trying to res her, I'll basically just stack stealth via Veil, Decoy, the Signet, and Massive Viz. And then we will just res her like that. A bit like the on Thief, obviously, we could just SR and it was easy. WP, do you think Dubai will go bankrupt? I hadn't heard about this. I know that people have always cast aspersions on it and suggested that it was spending too much and it didn't actually understand it, you know, how to organize its infrastructure and stuff. Has there been some more pointed news on that topic? Okay, so again, we want to get to these quick before they build too much rage, so we can get some allies. Okay, here's the charge. We want to make sure we don't get hit by that. Okay. We'll res Forgor. I don't know whether the next encounters with more A-bombs are far enough away that he'll snap, so. Dubai was never really oil money anyway. It was Abu Dhabi next door in the Emirates that was more oil money. I believe Dubai got a lot of its money from other means. It's a very common misconception about Dubai that just because it's there in the United Arab Emirates, it must all be oil money, oil money, oil money. But I think Dubai specifically didn't lean so heavily on it as most people think. Why are we talking about this? That's a very, very, very random thing to be introduced to in chat. Here, I think I missed it, so I'm double tapping for blind, and it did work. We got missed there. He would have hit us there. No rage, so it wasn't that scary, but he would have. This is really nice with all the clones. You'd think it'd be bad because the rage would build on the clones, but no, we're okay. Run a defender there. Oh, they're both charging. Okay, that's fine. Pull them together? Oh, no, right, they can't be. A little bit scared of that. Re-establish a good position. Mind rack. One of them's still really healthy. Ow. Defenders up. Ow. Waste of a mass invis. We're going to need that for, what's her face, like, now. So that's annoying, but, oh well. Alright, so, small risen have started spawning now. Where's her body? Is it still away from the group? It is. This has changed, man. I'm telling you, this has changed. This is not what it was. This has changed. And it's not just because we're getting here quickly and resin her quickly. It's because the fight, her body has been moved away from the fight. Her body used to spawn here. That's, what, 4 times in a row now that we've seen that? I guess the Demi mentioning Tibble and this arc is technically the main one. Yeah, I think here's one of the other stupid things about the personal story. They actually flip-flop based on whether all arcs happened at once or only one did. So you can never really be left to know. Right, I'm wondering as well if I can, during this dialogue here, make towards the tower and the cutscene will trigger en route. But I think I have to actually press F to talk to him, don't I? ANTTI says yes, it has changed. From where? From what? Oh yeah, it's the Treb. Never mind. Yeah, so I could have walked early though. What makes you say you think it's changed as well? Same reason as me? I'm actually going to leave that thrall there. We'll try and go for the one shot again. I don't actually know if the other one was a one shot because we fired at it prematurely last time, if you remember. Just under max you want. We need the angle to be right. There we go. We did get the one shot. Oh, I had some donations. What the hell? Geekmonger 25 minutes ago? Geekmonger, I'm so sorry. Congrats on finishing the comp judging. Does it feel like you've got your life back? Do you think you'd ever do something similar again? No, I won't ever do anything similar again. No, I don't really feel like I got my life back just yet. When I've got this actually done, when it's actually done, and I've actually got the ball rolling on other content again, and the other sort of passion projects I wanted to be doing, then I'll start feeling like I got my life back. But right now, I'm just a bit miserable about a lot of things. This is quite bad at the moment. This is like really quite bad. I'm pulling out. We'll distort this if we have to. Let's get our protection up. So we're going to kill these guys here because... they will just stack up. And we don't want that. So how many does he have after his first sweep? Let's have a look at that, shall we? He gets 4 as well. Oh, and then he gets 8. Oh, okay. So hold on. Sorry. Oh, I'm just an idiot. I'm just an utter moron. It's not an undocumented, unlisted thing. I'm just a dimwit. It literally says right there, stacks gained per attack 4. Okay. Alright, so it's stat when they gain might, they get 1, but whenever they execute their animation, they get 4. I'm just an absolute moron. Okay, alright, that makes perfect sense then. Yeah, you see this here? You see these guys here? These that stack on this wall? Jebro left at ages, and his group got quite big. Because he walked down here and he went off to the docks for, like, no reason. So they built up. I'm going to shatter here. And then they all jumped him. Once we kill these two, we're going to move on. Oh, my, who's in all caps. Ah, I said that. Well, I missed it. I missed a lot of chat, aren't I? Alright, well, there you go. I figured you probably would have heard me saying that and thought, oh no, it's, you know, you would have known the answer. I did figure that at the time. Alright, look, they're just respawning. We're leaving. I don't care. Alright, we're going to go the sneaky route anyway. So, just stealthing very briefly here. Try and shirk some arrow. Up this rock, aggro. Up this rock as always. I'm going to mass invis at the top of the rock here. Because I do think I'm still being hunted. But that will trick the AI and stop them doing it altogether. So that's good. We'll take... Oh no, he is still coming. Alright, that's fine. Unless he was just on Traherne. But he's at me right now, so I'm guessing it was him. We got Forgel as well. That's good. Okay, that's not a problem. Winners announced. Actually, Benji, the winners aren't really announced. I'm going to announce them at the same time as the thank you video. I mean, what's actually happened internally is I know who's won and I've got it all done, and I'm not gonna keep freaking out about it anymore. I'm not gonna keep deliberating. That's what's actually happened. The only other person in the world who knows who's won is Welk, who's putting them on the website, and I gave him the full list and full disclosure. If you actually, I tweeted about it. If you actually bury into my tweets a little bit, you'll see Welk talked a little bit about it on Twitter, and he talked about how important views seemed to be to win. And I think he said that it looked like views helped, but were not that important. Because basically, I asked Inks if he wanted to, if he regretted not doing an entry. And he said no, because I don't think it would have got enough views or grown the scene. To which Welk responded that. Alright. God, our character looks ugly. Alright, let's just get this cutscene done quick before anyone else comes. I just dropped the can I was drinking from at the start of the stream. Oh, you corrected yourself. Oh, look at this. I'm still missing stuff. Anyone killed the champion shark in this instance? Oh, dude, good question. I think I have once, years ago, because I was trying to find a champ bag farm. Oh, look. See, we did get attacked. I was trying to find a champ bag farm because there was actually a champ bag farm. Not in this instance, but the other Claw Island instance. The one that opens with the escort and then the defense. If you put 5 players in there, the dynamic event would scale to having champions. And right as champion bags came out and the Ember farm got nerfed. If you guys missed the Ember farm, don't know what I'm talking about with that. It was like one of the most crazy farms that I think's ever existed in Guild Wars. People were looking for other ways to get champ bags, and I did do a bit of experimenting with the personal story after we heard that there was actually an option for that. Right, I'm really scared right now. We need to be quite careful about who we fight and when and sort of how. I guess killing this group's fine. This is the bit where I'll die. If I die anywhere on this instance, it will be here. Again, as I said at the start of the instance, I'm fairly confident I won't. I suddenly really need the loo. Alright. They are pretty bad. It is pretty bad playing Mesmer, I have to say. It is pretty terrible. Mesmer is not a good ticket. Oh, that's going to instant despawn. Actually, does it at least finish its full animation? I guess it does. That's nice. Okay, Shatter's Hill, Shatter's Hill, Shatter's Hill. Remember that. Remember. Okay, so that's fine. He's respawning. We don't want to fight the ones that respawn. I doubt that fighting the ones that respawn is what will help us here. I'm amazed that we only got aggro of 2 from that play, but that's fine. I don't want to use the stealth stun break just yet. Diversion's actually kind of nice as well. Let's get that guy as he kicks us. Didn't. We missed it. How slow they are. I mean, this is just 2 mobs. This is just 2 mobs. We're fine because we'll rally. Come on. Okay. I'm thinking this brute here. I'm thinking this perma-crippled brute. What do you guys think? I'm thinking he looks like a good kill. We'll get the defender up on this one because I'm actually kind of terrified here. If you think I'm missing abilities and I'm not using them, I'm just trying to be really conservative to make sure I get max use out of them. Because you run out of cooldowns very quickly in Merciless, it feels like. So here, right, I'm not trying to generate or anything because I want to shatter with the triple generate. We're going to distort there. to stop any kind of knock clock chain. We have Blink to get us out of it as well, and a Sunbreak. I keep seeing this, and the animation's making me think of it like Thieves Guild. Okay, another Defender. Use the 2. Big shatter there. That was a really nice mind rack. That felt good. He's the crippled one, by the way. So when he dies, we might get the cutscene. Nope. Okay, they're respawning. I didn't mean to attack him. Just making sure behind me that we're not getting attacked too much. I did the pull there just purely for the purpose of interrupting him if he was about to execute a new attack. So what about these 3 brutes here that are picking daisies? What do you guys think about this? And if none of these, maybe the stack that's fighting Mira. Push them together, use that, and then pull them together again with the temporal curtain. Straight into a warden. I'm going to melee. Oh, I think we got a double block there. Is that possible? Did we just get double block? That was pretty cool. Shatter to heal now. Block again. Good. Oh my god, we evade? It procs an evade frame after the block triggers? I didn't realise that. Is that a new change? And by new, I mean at some point since Heart of Thorns. Because I haven't really been a good Mesmer. Well, not in PvE. Well, in any format, really. Played a lot of Mesmer since HOT came out. Maybe these guys over here. This aggroing right now is so Guild Wars 1. It is. It's a little bit. In Guild Wars 1, you'd hit 1 and the entire group would come. And then you'd run away until, like, half of them turn around. And then you'd stand still and then you'd fight them. Oh, what a terrible cutscene. What a terrible, terrible, terrible cutscene. What even died there? Maybe it is just on a time limit. Oh my god fucking damn. Please do not... If I'm in downstate after this, I'm going to be fucking furious. Oh, it invulned us during it. It invulned us. Okay, good. Stealth. Oh my god, Blightguard's got the fear. He got the fear. Why did that Risen die? Distorting to make sure we don't get interrupted. Oh, I didn't actually know Blightguard feared us when, if you were that far into the courtyard when he spawns. About Deputy Mirror, I watched some YouTube videos and the place of the corpse seems to be on different places. Oh, is it random where her corpse spawns then, maybe? Also, Ella Cora earlier donated 2. Geeks Manga did. And then Ella Cora did as well, who said tuition fee as a part of that joke earlier. So thank you very much. That's very sweet of you. Lead the survivors to the dock. As we all remember, we don't actually need to worry about this. I'm going to chain stealths here. We're just going to jump straight onto the boat. Fuck, I got put in combat because of the blind. That's annoying. And we're off. It's a scary dragon, WP. What do you expect? Well, I know that animation very well. It's just I haven't actually, in any of the recent Mercer stuff, experienced being feared by it from being close. We're usually at the gateway when we do that. So that's kind of cool. Good little touch from the devs there. The fear was a result of running merciless and not wanting to die. You did this. Oh, the shatters are clearing condies as well from that same trait. You're right. I could have done that to get rid of the fear. I saw only 2 different places. One is where you had it now, and the other is much closer to the enemies. Yeah. Website Lover says, I love you, WP. Thank you, Website Lover. Is it just my non-native English ears, but isn't the word Blightgast quite cool sounding? It is. It's very cool sounding. It is a very, very, very cool word. And we get our key for being this deep in the story for this week. Pretty hot stuff. So, we are still on the level 60 story. I almost tomed there, believe it or not. Next, we've got a bunch of instances revolving the attack on LA. This is where it really becomes a lot more challenging. Most characters do not make it to the return to Claw Island. Just to be clear about this. Ooh. Most don't make it back to Claw Island. Most of them die between then. And that'll be happening tomorrow. That'll be tomorrow's stream if... we haven't got the competition stuff announced, but there you have it. So, yeah, there will be a stream purely about the competition. There will be streams on other things than Merciless. coming up, so don't worry about that, guys. Particularly the Path of Fire 0 to Hero thing, where we all make new free-to-play accounts and we get every single thing in POF or something like that, with no Heart of Thorns at all. Might be fun. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. It depends how we slot our time up. But like I say, getting my life back after the competition thing will be kind of curious. But there you have it, guys. That's Zero to Hero for today. Thanks very much. Thanks for the couple of donations there. Thanks for all the good chat. Thanks for all the advice. I don't know if you remember, but I mentioned some friends with autism trying this game out. Happy to say they're in. They finished Caledon and Metrica. We're hoping to tackle Brisbane today. Dude, that's awesome. I'm glad they've managed to find you know, a way to enjoy it and not feel overwhelmed. Because if I remember, that was the issue. But yeah, ta-ta for now. Ta-ta for now, Will Hawkins. And yeah, catch you guys later. Thanks very much. And take it easy, guys.